proudly presents SportsCall. It's time to join our SportsCall crew as they discuss the latest headlines and happenings around Auburn and the entire sports world. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. We're taking phone calls all show long and want to talk about whatever you've got on your mind. And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show, Sports Call.
Welcome, Auburn, into the Friday edition of Sports Call, live on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. My name is Ryan Lavoie, the host of the program. Today, I am joined by Connor Knight for the full 3 hours on this Friday afternoon. Of course, we continue to air on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app, and are once again live on Facebook and YouTube at Sports Call Auburn if you'd like to watch the program today. Coming up on today's show, we will, of course, talk Auburn football. They got back after it at practice today, as we are now 15 days away from the Auburn and Baylor game. So we'll talk some Auburn, of course. We'll talk about the latest on the saga, which is the rulings from the courts on who is eligible to play the game of college football this year. Colorado made a big announcement today. It affects most, but not all situations, so we'll discuss that in a little bit. Of course, we come up on our final school to preview in the SEC, preseason number 1 in the SEC. That would be the Georgia Bulldogs. So we will discuss Georgia later in today's program. And, of course, with it being a Friday, we'll give you a what to watch for over the weekend. Big golf tournament, the BMW Championship, NASCAR back at it. And if you're Connor Knight, maybe a little Premier League action for him as Premier League back at it. So stuff going on, of course, NFL preseason and the sort. So we'll sort through some of that towards the end of today's program. If you want to give us a phone call to join us, 334-887-3401 locally, or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. And, of course, it is the start of high school football. Some games last night, a bunch of games tonight, and we will kick that off on the airwaves of Tiger Communications with games with Beauregard High School tonight at 6:30 right here on Tiger 95.9 and the East Alabama Game of the Week at 6:30 on FM Talk 93.9. But Ryan and Connor have you for the next 3 hours. Connor Knight, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm fantastic. You know, like you said already, football's back. You can't be upset. High school football kicked off last night. Thompson absolutely just destroyed Central Phoenix. So, I mean, you can't be upset. It's sports. The best part of the year is back. It's starting to cool. Well, not yet. Not cooling down yet. But hopefully it's going to sometime soon. Just take my word for it. It's going to cool down because it has to.
It will have to at some point.
So it's getting better every day. So very exciting stuff.
Yeah, in terms of the weather, I think next week a bunch of upper 80s instead of 90s.
So that's good.
It would be improvement there.
And Brooks isn't here, so I am very grateful to ask you, how's your day been?
It's been good, Connor. I appreciate it. Again, as you said, glad that high school football is back. Obviously, that means some late nights around the station, but yeah, doing well today, and glad that we are closer and closer to what we look forward to for so long, and just 8 days away from the week 0 part of it. So I'm definitely very excited about that, and also just looking forward to another good weekend around town. But let's get into it here today on this Friday. We'll start, of course, with Auburn football. Not as much newsworthy items today as there were a couple days ago when Auburn scrimmaged again, and such as injuries and that sort of thing you might have seen reported in recent days. Other guys getting other opportunities in terms of guys that were maybe third-string reps getting first or second-string reps, that sort of thing. I would kind of throw a blanket cautionary tale that now that we've already gone through almost 3 weeks of this now, that does not actually say a whole lot. Remind you of Alex Goller saying to start the fall that they were going to get the first couple of weeks, going to get their starters a bunch of reps and try to work on that part of it. And then as camp progressed, they would get guys that had not been getting as many reps. They would get them more reps and opportunities. So I would be a little bit cautious to discuss who is getting first and second team reps at this point. I think the next week or so they're going to mix and match, and then of course game week they'll go to a traditional practice format, and that you'll expect to see whoever is working first and second string reps would be very much the realistic picture of everything. So just keep that in mind a little bit. But Connor, as we get closer and closer now, again we've kind of talked with similar issues for several days now, and Auburn does feel it's close with its offensive line, and they feel that the J.J. Falk injury going to be opportunities for some fringe guys, but again was not going to start on the team. So we kind of still have similar questions at this point. What can be answered before a season is getting a little bit more answered now. And I feel like we're starting to get to the point where really all the rest of the questions are just going to have to be
solved on the field.
Baylor.
Let's see what we got on the field. And again, it's that time of the year where, like you said, you know a lot about your team just on the practice field. You just don't know what happens when you get in a certain game situation. And it's been said a lot about the players. I'm interested to see how Golish reacts in that first Baylor game against in that real situation. What does he do in these time management situations? What type of coach is he in that sort of sense? But like you said, one player who I brought up to you a couple days ago, who I was like, hey, he got some reps, and you hadn't really heard about him, was Alvin Henderson, because you just you haven't really talked about him since he's gotten here to Auburn, because he was this big time recruit that was playing at a smaller school, and just not getting everything. Kind of like that Arch Manning sort of deal where he's dominating competition that you're obviously more athletic than. And it's been kind of interesting to see him get some of the reps. And again, that running back room for Auburn is so talented. He's probably, like you said, not going to get any playing time probably, but it's nice to see these guys get some burn and hear some names you just haven't heard about in a while. And hopefully, maybe at some point in this season, you can see some of these guys play that you haven't really got to hear about.
Yeah, I think that with Alvin Henderson, I think a lot of people would love to see him.
Yeah.
At some point, just from the standpoint, he was a very highly talked about player.
Yeah.
Obviously he was a solid ranking recruit, nothing that we haven't seen before. But the dynamic of being from such a small high school in this state,
and breaking
but having so many numbers that were mind blowing, I think the appetite to figure out if that can translate at all is certainly there. But what Auburn did was build a running back room that is so thoroughly good that it doesn't have to take many chances. It doesn't have to, make assumptions or have hopes. It can operate on known commodities. It can operate on Jeremiah Cobb being a really successful back last year and adding some weight to it so that he can be durable. On Bryson Washington, who by all reports in the last week or two has turned a corner.
Which is fantastic.
Yep.
Such good news.
After entering fall camp out of shape, the tenor of the conversation around him is now that he is in shape. And this is a guy that ran for 1,000 yards 2 years ago.
He's looking
at
like the guy at Baylor.
Right. So you've got that. You've got Omar Mapson, who has impressed people from the day he stepped on campus as someone that should have still been a senior at Auburn High. He has continued to impress people. There's still some intrigue with someone like Nakai Davenport since he is coming from South Florida. Again, running back is not one of the emphasis points from guys transferring from South Florida, but he is the one guy that transferred from USF there. You still brought in, so many players over the last couple of years, and again, like Alvin Henderson, that you thought could be a very interesting point of Auburn's offense at some point. So, I think it's very interesting because I don't think that there is someone I don't want to see. Even Tay Meadows from Troy.
Yeah.
They bring in as a senior. Yeah, I'm not going to vouch from the start, but anything can happen at RB3 or so.
Yeah.
But they've got a lot of backs to work through, and again, it just is impressed upon me from watching Alex Golish at South Florida that if you're look, one, you're going to get the running of the football. Okay, he's
Yeah.
gonna do it. He will not do like Hugh Freeze and see Jarquez Hunter have a huge game against Kentucky and then say, how about 10 carries next week? He's not going to be doing that. But he's also not the workhorse type of guy.
Yeah.
He's not the type of guy that sends someone out there and just says, all right, go carry the ball 35 times. Even with Jeremiah Cobb adding weight, like I think that's a great thing. It will make him more durable in general. All the hitting that you take in this league, of course you want to be able to be bulky enough to feel like you can withstand it. So not contesting that part of it at all, but I don't think that means they're preparing Jeremiah to get 80% of the carries or anything of that sort. I still think they're going to go towards having 3, maybe 4 guys get carries in every single game. And that is something that I think without Scolish was pretty consistent at South Florida. And it also protruded to his wide receivers. Why I think Keyshawn Singleton's good, but I've said don't get too hung up on any one person in the receiving room because they also are going to want 4 or 5 guys to all have their big moments and it not be one guy has 900 yards, guy 2 has 600 yards, and then no one else has more than 300. I don't think it tears off that way at all with how he has been doing it in the past.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see, again, that one of those, got to see on the field, if Jeremiah Cobb is just absolutely burning it up the entire game and breaking off 10 yards runs, does he stick to that? Let's keep everybody swapping out and keep everybody fresher. Hey, Cobb is the hot hand. Let's keep it to Cobb and see what he can do. That's one of those sort of coaching decision things that if Golish is a running back guy, I like swapping guys out, keeping everybody fresh. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Just very interested to see how that works out. And another room that I feel like nobody really has talked about has been tight ends. I've been really interested in tight ends and how he's going to use tight ends. I know he had Eccles coming in, but from what I've been reading, it's been Jake Johnson, the guy from UNC.
Yeah, North Carolina,
so it's really interested to see how that works out, just because tight ends has been a position that I feel like every coach since Gus Malzahn has come in and been like, we're going to use tight ends. Or we're gonna try to use some tight ends,
And then they don't.
Yeah. You just never hear about tight ends, and you've had some good ones. John Samuel Schenker, I thought was really underrated for what he could do. He was a good blocker, but
Rivaldo
Fairweather, just a lot of players who I felt like could have offered more, and I feel like especially with Bryce Brown, having that sort of safe, sort of receiver tight end guy who's big, who can just be the check down safe valve, could be really big for this offense.
Bit of a Freudian slip there because you said Bryce Brown, who was on campus, yesterday.
Yeah,
on
saw him on
the
socials.
Oops. And good to see Bryce back and everything he meant with Auburn basketball. But,
Byram Brown.
Yeah, but I think the tight ends, really good point, because guess what I'm about to say. I think they're also going to want to use their depth, and they're not going to lean on one particular guy. Because you mentioned Jake Johnson, I think he's absolutely going to be a part of it. I do expect to see a decent amount of Jonathan Eccles. I even think there's a world that they play either Arliss Boardingham or Xavier Newsome.
Been hearing Boardingham, yeah.
And I that's just what Golish seems to be, man. I handicapping this thing, and I don't think it's necessarily just for year one at Auburn. Because look at it. I mean, year one is a year that you don't necessarily think is the prime year to establish depth. You've had to scramble in some ways to get the players you want out of the portal. You certainly don't have the retention base from the high school levels being very high in year number one. So, if we're talking about depth being something they want to do a lot of in year one, I don't see why that ever ends up changing. And so even at tight end, you're going to see multiple guys in multiple situations. One of the things that I found interesting about how Golish has a couple of things that are a little bit different than Heupel's stuff at Tennessee, obviously same base product, same system, but one of the things he does is that he will put those tight ends into a power package. He'll maintain one or two wide receivers one wide receiver on each side, split out wide, but put 2 tight ends in the backfield, almost like a full house, and try to have some power runs out of those formations. So you could see 2 more blocking type tight ends in any given moment in a short yard situation.
Right.
Instead of them being lined up on the line of scrimmage. So, I think that they just like to maintain the option to do everything. Again, who they are is fundamental in terms of creating a lot of space and making the defense be stretched. But what they do from there, they're willing to do a little bit of everything, and they're willing to play a little bit of every one. So my expectation coming the year is that it's going to be hard to pinpoint like a raw stat total for a lot of these guys, even Jeremiah Cobb.
Yeah, unless their name's Byron Brown.
Right.
Yeah.
Who will definitely be out there all the time. Great point. It's going to be really hard to say, I expect, because I boldly, Connor, and I ended up being so wrong. I'll take the L for it. I said when Cam Coleman got on campus, he was going to be the third 1,000-yard receiver in Auburn history.
Unfortunately,
I will not be making such prediction with anyone in this wide receiver room, not because they won't throw it enough or because Keyshawn Singleton can't be really good or even Chaz Nimrod be explosive enough. It's just that they're not going to have, I don't think, enough targets / opportunities for anyone to get to that lofty total, of which, again, only 2 people have ever gotten to in this program's history. And, again, there is going to be an emphasis on running the football.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so apparent in the way, again, Jake Johnson is not a pass-catching tight end. He is a run-blocking tight end. I don't believe Boardingham was a pass-catching tight end. He was a run-blocking tight end. So I think it is very evident, and it's so refreshing because last year it was every week it was, how many carries do you think Jeremiah Cobb is going to get? Do you think it's going to be more than 20?
Never.
No, yeah,
Never.
No, and it's going to be, if it's not going to be yes, so why is it no? Why is it not more than 20 carries? So just hearing that Golish is looking to run the football is music to my ears. It makes me happy, and I just hope that it sticks to it and it comes out on the field, and Cobb and Brian Brown have a huge season running the ball.
Something we talked about a little bit yesterday, and Coach Golish said it on Wednesday in his presser, but he said they were behind in situational football. Are you concerned about that at all right now?
A little bit, yeah. That definitely does concern me. Just because I think recently you've seen how big those have been, and especially with Auburn, because what Auburn has struggled the most with, I feel, is not, like, I hate to say this, being close. It's just you're almost there. It's just winning football games, and I think a lot of that comes down to situational football, and just how many times last year on these fourth quarter drives when you had a chance to win it, did everything go wrong? Just everything, from penalties to snaps, everything fell apart. Jackson Arnold was not looking at the right way. 3 sacks in a row in that Oklahoma game. Just really terrible football and 2-minute drills, and I don't remember a point ever last year being like, I feel confident Auburn is going to score before the half. They're going to get the ball. They're going to drive down the field and score points. Just never, ever felt that way. So it does worry me, and it's something that I feel like you need to be really good at in today's college football to win these big-time games, because you have to perform at your best in these really, really big moments.
Well, and let me provide the opposite situation than what we provided yesterday when we were talking about the no-huddle stuff that was so brutal at the end of these games. It's also the ability for a fast operating team to slow down.
Yeah.
And to be able to run out 4 and 5 minute clocks at the end of a game.
I think of Diego Pavia every time at that New Mexico game where they just held on to the ball, held on to the ball, and held on to the ball. And it's like, are we going to get a possession? Is Auburn going to get a possession? So, yeah.
So it's a tale as old as spread offense, where you have to figure out, okay, you've done all this work to stretch the defense and to get them exhausted, but are they exhausted enough? Are you good enough at what you do in between the tackles to shove them around at the end of the game when you have to simplify the stuff and you have to tighten it up a little bit? So, that's something at South Florida. Again, admittedly, like Alex Golish, we talk about him optimistically. We talk about everything optimistically this time of year, quite frankly. But that's something that was not as good at South Florida, is that they were losing one possession games,
Yeah.
and most of the games they won, they just beat the ever living hell out of their opponent to where it didn't matter what
Yeah.
they did. They could have just taken knees
Was
and
it
it would have been
close?
fine.
Yeah.
So, that is something of interest to me. And again, if he's already kind of calling it out, then I'm going to take his word for it. That's not probably in the place they want to be in. So again, some of these teams, this would be really nice to see if it does come to fruition. Some of these teams Auburn might be able to blow out and be way ahead. They might be able to put 40 on Baylor,
Not have to take nitroglycerin pills.
right? And it not and it not have to be a big deal. But obviously, you cannot operate in major college football without winning these close games successfully. And again, South Florida lost a few of them under his leadership that prevented them from winning a conference championship or going a little bit further. So that is something that I think should perk the ears up at least a little bit. All right, let's take our first time out here of the program today. On the other side of this break, we'll get to a couple phone calls on the Sports Call phone line. This is the Friday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
To the show, send us your thoughts via email.
You've got mail.
SportsCall@thetiger.fm.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Tiger Rewards checking at Auburn University Credit Union gives you the tools to manage your credit, monitor for fraud, telehealth services, loan discounts, and more. Visit myaucu.org for more details. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Today will be not quite as scalding, as we'll see high temperatures in the low 90s as opposed to the mid to upper 90s that we've seen so many times in the last week. With it, we'll see an increased coverage area of shower and thunderstorm activity, between 40 to 50% of the area seeing some rain. On Saturday, we return near the mid 90s again, and the coverage area of showers and thunderstorms goes back down a bit, around 20% of the area seeing some rain. Low temperatures both nights into the low 70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
Football season is here, Auburn. Let Waldo's Chicken and Beer on South Collins Street take care of the cooking for your next tailgate. We offer catering with delivery so you can spend more time enjoying the game and less time in the kitchen. Watching from home, we've got you covered there too. Waldo's proudly supports our local high school teams, and we offer convenient to-go orders for your away games. Reserve your catering dates now at a.u.catering@waldos.com. Waldo's Chicken and Beer. Let us handle the food while you handle the fun.
When it comes to important money matters, you matter most. At Mid-South Bank, we're a place for you to put your loyalty and trust. That's why we offer products and services to make your banking chores easy and convenient for both your business and your personal needs. Come in today at 519 East Glen Avenue or visit bankmidsouth.com to find out what the friendliest, most helpful bank in town can do for you. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
Hey everybody, this is Brandon Maxwell with Fairway Auto Brokers. Back to school deals are here and you deserve a new ride. With over 150 of the finest pre-owned vehicles in stock, we make car buying fun and easy for the whole family. As Lee County's #1 place to buy a pre-owned vehicle, come see why Fairway is the difference. Visit us at www.fab-auto.com or stop by today at 1777 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Alabama.
Christian Care Ministries is an all-inclusive ministry in Lee County that provides food, clothing, transportation, and other life necessities in a compassionate and caring fashion. CCM is a 501c3 nonprofit organization staffed by volunteers who have a passion to improve the living conditions of people in need. The clothes closets at CCM are in great need of donations, especially for boys and girls. For more information about CCM, visit ccmea.tripod.com or visit their Opelika location at 1000 Sanford Court.
I'm Britt Bowen, voice of Auburn women's basketball and Auburn softball. You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Welcome back. This is the Friday edition of Sports Call, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie and Connor Knight with you here this afternoon. All right, let's grab a couple phone calls on the Sports Call phone line, 334-887-3401 locally, or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. First up,
James from Montgomery.
James joins us. James, how are you doing today?
I'm good in War Eagle.
War Eagle.
I know that we are actually right around the corner to the opening week of college football, which I cannot wait for it as well.
Yep, 8 days till week 0, and then 15 days till Auburn and Baylor play and all the rest of the teams. So we're getting very close.
Yes, as well, because I was actually trying to see what college teams would you all actually like to see play in the college football playoff, and I was actually going through some different teams, trying to see who's going to actually who's going to actually take it all and win the national championship. And I actually came up with a really good matchup that I would love to see for this year in Atlanta. I would love to see Auburn and Miami. I would love to see those two teams actually play in Atlanta for the national championship as well.
Yeah, we hope Auburn can have a great season. Obviously, not the expectation for this season, but hopefully they can get in that conversation sooner rather than later. But I do think Miami's going to have a great chance at it this year.
Yes, as well, because, with Miami Hurricanes, they're looking really good, but I know a lot of people been saying that they would like to see a rematch between Miami and Georgia. Could it happen? Will it happen? We'll just have to see how things go for Georgia as well, because Georgia is their schedule is kind of hard to break as well.
Yeah, Georgia played Ole Miss and lost last year in the playoff. Miami did not play them, but yeah, no, they certainly Georgia expects to be in the playoffs. I think they will be, and then the question becomes what can they do in that playoff. But yeah, that's a very possible matchup at some point in this year's playoffs.
Yes, as well, because I know with all these great colleges, do you think that Alabama might have a chance at winning the national championship this year? Because I know a lot of Alabama fans, they've been saying that they're looking ready to actually win another national championship game this year as well. But time will tell as well.
Time will tell. I do think that they can make the playoff. I don't view them as one of the 5 or 6 best teams in the country coming into it. I do think that they can be a quality team and have a good year, but I don't necessarily put them in tier 1 in terms of national championship most likely teams this year.
Yes, as well, because I know when I was actually picking some of the games that I want to actually see win out of their conference, I was actually trying to see who was actually gonna win the playoffs, and I'm thinking, I was like, when I got down to Alabama, I was like, should I put them in or should I not put them in? And I'm not gonna put them in the playoff contention spot right now, but I just have to see how they're going to improve against their first opponent when they play Eastern Carolina next week as well.
Yeah, playing East Carolina for week 1 there in 15 days. But, yeah, I know. I mean, I think Alabama, it could go either way. Obviously, 2 years of DeBoer, 1 year in the playoff, 1 year out. So I think they're more of a team that, makes it by a couple spots or misses it by a couple spots. Again, I don't think they're a top 5 team, but we'll see. Again, that they're going to be really competitive.
Yes, as well. And then I'm actually taking another chance at my Dallas Cowboys and actually seeing what we're going to do for week 2 of the preseason and seeing how we're going to hold out when we play against the Arizona Cardinals. I think that's a road game for us, and I'm just going to see what's been going on in training camp as well, because I know Jerry Jones actually said in his press conference, he said that there was a lot of fights being going on with the Cowboys organization, and I don't know who was actually, who actually caused that fight as well. I'm hoping it's not Dak Prescott, because I mean, he can't do that. Not this time around. He should know better not to fight with any other opponent teams that are playing during the practice of the preseason as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure, who he's referring to there. I know that when you do joint practices and that sort of thing, skirmishes do happen, and some mini fights and that sort of thing. So wouldn't be anything that's not normal as far as most teams are concerned. But yeah, I have no idea who would have been involved there, and they'll just get ready for this preseason game, as you said, against the Cardinals Saturday night.
Yes, as well, because, I mean, this one is going to look a little different Saturday night, so I'm just going to see who they're actually going to start. I'm hoping that they will start Dak Prescott and seeing what he's really going to do, and I'm just going to see how they're going to if they're going to start Dak Prescott for the preseason, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to start Von Miller for the Cowboys, and seeing if he's going to get any playing time on Saturday night as well.
Yeah, we'll see what Dallas decides to do with their starters. Obviously, each team is different, so really could go either way. I think more teams than not do play their starters at least a little bit in game number 2 of the preseason, but franchises do have different philosophies on that.
Yes, as well, because I know last night I was watching the Las Vegas Raiders, and I know that that Fernando Mendoza, I know that he wasn't doing too good, so they actually pulled him out, which was a really good thing. So he needs a little bit of work. He made some mistakes, but I'll just have to see how he's going to do this week as well, if he's going to actually make changes for week 2 for as well.
Yeah, he did throw that long pick 6 last night, and played okay otherwise. But that's just the kinks you work out in the preseason. You definitely want to get the rookies in there a lot, and that's exactly why.
Yes, as well. And then for the WNBA season, this is actually playoff contentions, and I know that my Dallas Wings were actually looking good. So I'm just going to see how we're actually going to look tomorrow as well, and seeing if we're going to actually, who we're going to play. I'm hoping that we'll play against the Los Angeles Sparks or the Minnesota Lynx or the championship Las Vegas Aces as well.
Yeah, Dallas is in a playoff position. Looks like they'll make it, and probably will be playing Minnesota in a first-round series. Minnesota has the best record in the league. So that would be a tough one, but yeah, Dallas has had a good year.
Yes, as well, and I'm actually just trying to see if I think we do have one key injury. I think it's Asia Fudd, so I think she's going to get her knee replaced. So I'm hoping that she'll have a speedy recovery, and I would love to see her come back and actually play sometime real soon.
Yeah, I do think she got a season-ending injury, if I'm not mistaken. But again, doesn't take away from what the season she had or what Dallas has had. Any final thoughts for us today, James? Where to let you go?
The only final thoughts I actually have is I'm actually ready for week 0, so I'm actually going to be looking at some great games this coming up week, and I'm actually going to be picking some great teams for the week 0 weekend as well, and seeing how some of these colleges are actually going to look very good as well.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Just 8 days away, so we'll be previewing those games at the end of next week.
All right, sounds good. And I will actually call you all back next week with some great news on a upcoming basketball game that's going to be coming up in September as well. So it's going to be really good as well.
All right, then. Have a great weekend, James.
All right, sounds good. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
That's James from Montgomery joining us on the Sports Call phone line. Back to the Sports Call phone line we go, 334-887-3401 locally or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9.
Ward Dam Steve.
Retired Ward Dam Steve joins us. Steve, how are you doing today?
It's Friday, guys. Thank goodness we have survived it. How are you guys doing?
Doing very well.
Yeah, very good.
All right. Well, I'll tell you somebody who's not doing too well. And let me bring him up here. Oh, well, where's it at? Oh, yeah, here he is. You might have already read this. It comes again from The Athletic. These stories are hilarious. Coach Freddie Whittingham. Does that name sound familiar?
Freddie Whittingham? I mean,
Does sound kind of familiar.
He's Kyle Whittingham's brother.
That's what I was going to guess. Some relation to Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, apparently things are not sitting well for Mr. Freddie Whittingham because the University of Utah is suing him for breach of contract. Have you read about that?
I have not.
Well, it's pretty lengthy, but apparently he decided to, leave town without doing what he was supposed to do, according to the Utah AD and the contract. And so they're suing him for $1 million. So they said he failed to devote full-time attention and energy to the duties of an assistant coach and did not obtain Utah's written consent for engaging with Michigan during the hiring process. They're also saying that he was complicit in luring away some of their players. So that was pretty telling. But the part that got me is this one. Now, Michigan is going to be paying him, it says here, $600,000 this season, $650,000 next season. So he's only $1 million to Utah. We'll see how that works out for him. But then the one that got me was his brother, Kyle Whittingham, who now, of course, is Michigan's coach. And guess what they're paying Mr. Kyle Whittingham? He's got a 5-year contract of $40 million from Michigan, okay?
Right.
But that's not the one that got me. This is the one that got me. He will also be receiving, hold on to your seats, 3 payments totaling $13.5 million from Utah,
Yeah.
as part of a transition bonus. I never had a transition bonus, guys, when I left the job. Tell me about how that works.
Well, it was their settled way of kicking him out of town, basically. Like, we can't forget that Kyle Whittingham was out at Utah. Like they had mutually agreed to part ways, and it was not that he just straight left for Michigan. It was that Utah said we're done. We appreciate it. You've been great. It's run its course now. We'd like to move on to the next era of Utah football. Kyle Whittingham said, okay, that's great. It's been a long time. I appreciate it. It's time for me to move on also. So that was just kind of a mutual, agreeing to, buy out whatever part of his it's not a traditional buyout because he did, they mutually agreed, I guess. But, he had one. It's not that his contract was expiring, and it was not that he was just straight up leaving for Michigan. It was that they wanted him to go. So, it was basically Utah felt it was in their best interest for Whittingham to leave.
Wow. I've never had jobs like that, which people said, we don't want you around anymore, Steve. Please get the heck out, and we'll pay you to leave.
Yeah. Sports world is different.
Yeah. So because of that little thing, I did the math. He's going to be making $12.5 million a year, at least for the first 3 years.
Yep.
And then he has that 5-year contract. So I said, wow. What a job, If I believed in, coming back for another life, I'd want that one.
Yeah.
They'll pay leave.
Coaches' salaries have definitely gone up, as with any salary really across the board in any of the sports world. It's all gone up.
Okay. All right. By the way, Mr. Conrad, I'm seeing you right now on video, and I'm impressed with the bodied hair that you have. It's really depressing. It's really depressing. Okay.
Hey, my dad does not have a whole lot, so there's that. It could be in my future. Just putting that out there. Just letting you know.
Okay. Well, enjoy the while you
That's
got
what
it,
I've been
okay?
told. Yep. I'm trying.
All right. Speaking of money, guys, this is what I call loose change underneath the couch for these two teams. The Cowboys and the Saints were fined $500,000 each for the little get-together that they had during a practice game? What was it? It was a joint practice game, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure for all the fighting or whatnot.
And Brock, the son
I
of
saw the little skirmish, But $500,000, that's
Papa
like,
Pump.
loose change hanging around they found in their couch somewhere in the lobby. That's nothing to these two teams, right, guys?
Well, but they didn't do something that's just completely awful that warrants some huge penalty. It is a slap on the wrist penalty for a major, NFL franchise like that, and that's what it should be. I don't think a fight. Again, if it was just a fight in practice, again, I hadn't seen the videos or anything like that. But if it just is a fight, like I referenced in the former phone call, those do happen in a ton of joint practices, like a ton of them. So,
well, what are you fighting about, though, Ryan? I mean, it's a darn practice scrimmage. Nothing.
Because you start hitting each other and you get hit something after a whistle and you take it the wrong way and you set it. Then you do a little bit and you get chippy. Like, if you've ever been in any practice, you can get chippy and you get tired of it.
You might get chippy if you're 18 years old, but these guys are in their mid-20s.
No, it doesn't matter. You physical contact like that, I mean, if you think it was low or unnecessary, you're going to respond immediately to that. No, I don't agree at all. No.
Okay, well, I think it's immature. But anyway, speaking of bad beats, I can't wait for the bad beat season to begin. Cincinnati Reds, their 67th loss comes in stunning fashion. Do you know about what happened?
I think I saw this with Kirk Herbstreit. Did they drop a ball on the final out or something like that?
A routine fly ball on the last strike was dropped.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing 10-9.
Yikes.
All they needed was one strike. It was the final strike they needed, and the game was over. And that's what happened to Cincinnati Reds. I know they lost that many games.
Yeah, I think
67th loss.
I think Kirk Herbstreit's Kirk Herbstreit's tweet was, "I didn't even know they were still playing baseball. Thanks for reminding me."
Yikes! Yeah.
Ouch.
They're a 500 team essentially, or a little below 500. They're 61 and 67.
Ouch. Well, since you mentioned Conrad, Mr. Kirk Herbstreit, I saw his prediction for the national championship winner for this season, and he said, according to the article, again from the Athletic, he doubled down on it. You know who he picked, right?
No. Who did he pick?
Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
They are highly ranked in the preseason.
Always are.
I'm shocked. Notre Dame, he's doubling down on that. I might have thought, okay, maybe Ohio State, maybe even Georgia, but Notre Dame, okay, you give me a rebuttal for why I shouldn't be shocked.
Two things. One, I mean, Notre Dame is absolutely in the national conversation. I mean, they are picked by many to have at least a playoff run.
And how often do they get picked?
I mean, often. I get it, but here's point number two that'll tie it together. So while I do think they're going to be at least baseline good, their schedule is not tough at all. I don't see
and
enough.
When is it tough, Ryan? When is their schedule tough?
This takes. I understand all the old stories with them, but this year to me is a weaker schedule than normal for them. And
oh my gosh.
Well, I understand.
Don't they also have the playoff basically was like you're going to get in if you lose?
They also do have that.
Yeah,
if they're 12th or better. Yeah, if they're 12th or better. So I mean, I just think when I look at the playoff, not that this is everything, I want to first pick a team that I know will make it in the first place.
Yeah.
Because Texas was preseason number 1 last year, all this talent, and they didn't even make it. So I like to identify a few teams that I feel incredibly confident about making it, and I am incredibly confident that Notre Dame will make it. Steve, just to give you a quick glimpse on their schedule, if you believe in the preseason polls, I get it. We talked all about it. It doesn't work out that way. There's biases, etc. But based off preseason polls, they only play three ranked teams this year. And the only top 10 team they play is Miami, which is in South Bend. So I just don't see enough teeth to their schedule. And I do think, for what it's worth, C.J. Carr is a really solid quarterback. I do think you're going to hear his name a lot this year. I think Marcus Freeman is a really good coach. And to be fair to them, Marcus Freeman did take them to the national championship game. So I know everyone's like, oh, when do they live up to expectation? Well, that year they did. So
Riley Leonard looked really good.
I'm very confident in the playoff. I'm not sure I'm going to pick them to win the title, but that is a fair prognostication.
I was really surprised since, of course, Herb Street's from Ohio State, and he didn't pick Ohio State.
I've never really thought Herb Street to be biased. I've never really thought him to be that type. He's sometimes he picks Ohio State, sometimes he doesn't.
Okay, we'll see how that Notre Dame. But I really get irritated with Notre Dame getting all these freebies, so to speak, that other teams, don't have a chance at. They get all these automatics, and then they don't have to play the conference schedules that the SEC teams have to play. So we'll move on. Speaking about money, guys, if I may draw your attention here, again from The Athletic, do you know anything about something called the $1 Million Sports Card Club?
Never heard of it.
Can't tell.
Well, it's apparently cards that sold for at least $1 million, if not more, due to who these cards belong to. Sports, obviously, very, very famous sports people. So in less than a month, according to Athletics, Larry Holder, who wrote this article, there have been 5 new members who've joined the $1 Million Card Club. Nikola Jokic, is that his name?
Yep.
Okay. Cristiano Ronaldo. Who is that, guys?
Soccer
One
player.
of the great soccer players of all time. Yeah.
Okay. I can tell you, I don't pay attention. Josh Allen. Who is that?
The quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, Josh
Wyoming,
Allen.
Snickers bar, Josh Allen.
I don't know. Victor
Wembanyama. Yep. San Antonio Spurs.
Okay. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yes.
Yeah.
OKC Thunder.
Okay.
Yep.
Apparently, those cards have been going way, way, way high. Give you an idea, guys. The 2023 Panini Prism, never heard of this company, one of one black parallel rookie cards sold for $5.1 million in a private sale.
Yeah, that's lofty. Panini sponsors the Senior Bowl now. We were there last year.
Okay. At one time, Jackie Robinson's card was pretty pricey. Not anymore. And apparently, Wayne Gretzky was at the top of the list too. Well, this is becoming no longer a rarity. There are now 33 players across 5 sports, according to this article, who have had one or more of their cards sell for at least $1 million. This is according to a database website called Card Ladder.
Sure.
Now, it's amazing. Like you think something like the 1909 Honus Wagner card would be the most expensive one. Nope. It doesn't even come close to being. It was only sold for $1.32 million.
Yeah, only. Yeah.
Only.
Yeah. When was that sold? I'm talking about.
When was that sold? Let's see.
Honus Wagner? I think it was.
Yeah, April 2015.
Yeah.
So I will say, not to go too deep dive on it, some of this does have to be adjusted for inflation. So
that's
you got
true.
something 11 years ago that might be I spitballing. I don't know the exact number. That might be 1.7, 1.8 million in today dollars. So I don't know all the values. I will say again, in general, everything goes up. So that's why you're going to see more and more cards sell for $1 million+ and the value change over time. But it's people are big into it. So there's going to be an increasing demand.
Yeah, they're going. LeBron James, 2003 Upper Deck, exquisite collection rookie patch autographed card numbered 9 of 23 produced, went for $2.93 million.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, for the rookie
Now,
patch too.
I got to ask you guys. I used to buy these cards. and then throw away the bubble gum inside of. But who are these people that get these cards? How do they come by them, so to speak?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's a online auction or
Target.
I mean the original owner.
Oh, the original owner.
Like I as a teenager go to a sports card place and get the cards randomly, and you're lucky if you got it.
Yeah.
Or what happens? How do they get these? I mean, these are signed. This was a rookie patch autograph card.
You just
number
get
9.
Really lucky. I think somebody probably just opened up a pack, went to Walmart, Target, whatever supermarket you want to say that has cards, sports cards, bought a pack, got super lucky because the sports cards, they have like 200 of these like cards that are signed, and then like they put them in packs, kind of like the Willy Wonka chocolate bars, if you remember the Willy Wonka
Is it that
thing.
random then?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, and
I
it's like
maybe there's kind of little insider dealing going on here. How about
Could
Ohtani?
be.
What do you think his card? It's a 2018 Topps.
it's going to be
Chrome,
ridiculous.
number 150. I don't even know what this means. Superfractor, one of a kind, parallel.
I think Superfractor
Rookie
just
card.
is like the colors and like colors, like I don't know, like
I don't know.
reflective pattern.
In 2018, it sold for $2.56 million.
Yes.
There you go. One more minute, Steve, and we got to end the
That's it.
hour.
I'm out of money. I'm out of money. Okay, so that's all I got, guys. And just the sidekick about my decision to pick Georgia as my under-the-radar upset pick. Another reason I picked that game because I want revenge for is it a timeout or is it a clap?
Right. Yeah.
So that's my other angle why I picked it. I said, I want some payback for the clap, or was it a timeout? You make the call.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely
That's it, guys.
clapping.
All right, with that said, have a really, really relaxing afternoon and weekend. And until next time, guys, Eagle.
War Eagle, Steve, we appreciate it. Have a great weekend. That is Retire War Dam Steve joining us on the Sports Call phone line. All right, we're out of time for hour number 1 of the program. Much more ahead, though, including a look at Georgia football as they are preseason number 1 in the SEC media poll. Look at a few other things in the college football world. And, of course, we'll have a what to watch for over the weekend. This is the Friday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, the Tiger Communications app, and streaming live on Facebook and YouTube.
One hour of our show is in the books. We've got more to come. Stay tuned for another hour of Sports Call right after the break.
From the very beginning in 1907, Auburn Bank's mission has been to promote our community, see businesses flourish, and improve the livelihoods of local citizens. We have operated a simple and straightforward business model built on a foundation of sound business decisions and a caring response. Our local team stands ready to discuss your financial needs and goals. Auburn Bank, champions of you. Member FDIC. Online at auburnbank.com.
Every day we power homes and businesses in our communities, but we also power something else. Bright futures for our youth. We visit classrooms to speak on topics ranging from career opportunities to leadership skills. And we help make college possible by providing scholarships to deserving students. Bright futures are ahead, and we help make it happen. Brought to you by Tallapoosa River Electric Cooperative.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
TK's convenience stores have a brand new look. That's right, look for the red, white, and blue. It's Arco, American-owned top-tier gasoline, now at select TK's locations. Need great gas at a great price? TK's and Arco have you covered with the best price gas in town. American-made fuel for you and your family. So roll into your neighborhood TK's today, where TK's and Arco are as American as apple pie.
You can beat your toughest opponent. You can beat your best time in the mile. You can beat that old largemouth bass. But one thing you should never try and beat is a train. If a train is approaching, don't risk your life trying to beat it, because beating the train is a deadly game. Drive safe, Alabama. Sponsored by ALDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory is here for you when you need us. With locations in Lee, Chambers, and Tallapoosa counties, serving the people of East Alabama and West Georgia since 1900. A family-owned and operated business, skip the hassle of the big corporate mortuaries. Our kind, compassionate team members are standing by to assist your family in the hardest of times. An on-site crematory, private cemetery, and a choice of facilities makes Frederick Dean unique. Visit us at frederickdean.com.
We all know Jimmy's Car Stereo in Auburn has you covered when it comes to car stereos, accessories, and expert installation. But did you know Jimmy's is also your go-to spot for ATV and UTV gear? They've got 32-inch sassies, 3,500, 4,500, and 6,000-pound winches, belts, lighting, whips, laser lights, side mirrors, bumpers, phone holders, and rear mirrors. So whether you're upgrading your ride, decking out your ATV or UTV, or adding audio to your boat, Jimmy's has the gear and the know-how to make it happen. Jimmy's Car Stereo in Auburn. If it rolls, rides, or floats, Jimmy's makes it sound better.
You remember the burgers, you remember the buns, you even remember the ice, but you forgot the beer? Rookie mistake. Save the cookout by showing up with Blue Moon Belgian White. Its crisp, refreshing taste with Valencia orange peel and that iconic orange garnish turns an oops into an awesome. Because when the beer's this good, people tend to forget what you forgot in the first place. Blue Moon Belgian White, made brighter. Please enjoy responsibly.
Looking for great deals while supporting a great cause? Visit Lifesavers Business Thrift Store, conveniently located on East University behind Zaxby's. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 5 with a huge selection of furniture, clothing for the whole family, books, home decor, and so much more. Have items to donate? We'll gladly accept donations at the back of the store from 10 until 4. Shop, donate, and make a difference at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, where every purchase helps change lives.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
It's a new day in Beauregard, and Tiger 95.9 is your home for all the action. Hey folks, this is Tim Sin, voice of the Beauregard Hornets, inviting you to tune in all season long for all the action from this new-look team. Listen to every game day starting 30 minutes before kickoff for complete coverage of Hornet football from the entire broadcast crew. Listen wherever you go with the free Tiger Communications app. It's another year of Hornet football live on Tiger 95.9. You don't want to miss it. Brought to you by America's Home Place, Beauregard Drugs, Kim Dry of East Alabama, Fairway Auto Brokers, Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory, and Jimmy's Car Stereo.
On Saturdays, we all wear orange and blue, but every day, Auburn University Credit Union is proud to serve the people who make this community strong. Whether you're opening your first account, buying your first car, planning for your future, or growing your business, we're here for every chapter, because at Auburn University Credit Union, you're more than a customer. You're a member. You're an owner. Your family. Auburn University Credit Union, rooted in Auburn, committed to you. To learn more, visit myaucu.org. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender, NMLS number 530633.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update, presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves top the White Sox in Chicago. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network morning update.
Tidal Wave Auto Spa is the official car wash of the Atlanta Braves and your go-to car wash destination all season long. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com to find a location nearest you.
The Braves dropped in for one game against the Chicago White Sox, and they made it count as they topped the Palehosers 2-0 in a phenomenal performance from Grant Holmes. He took a no-hitter into the seventh inning before it was broken up. Bullpen comes in. 9 up, 9 down, 7 strikeouts. Rosell Iglesias finished things off with his 26th save of the season. But how about Austin Riley? 2 for 4 on the day with both RBI. He drove in Mauricio Dubon twice. Dubon went 3 for 4 on the afternoon. All around great one-game stop in the Windy City. Braves hop on a bus. They will head to Milwaukee. 3-game set starting tonight. We have a phenomenal pitching performance. Jacob Mizorowski going for the Brewers. He's 12-5, has a 1.75 ERA. And the Braves ace Chris Sale will oppose him. He's 12-8, has a 2.16 ERA, 28 walks, and 160 strikeouts. Ford leadoff show coming your way at 2:55 Eastern and first pitch at 4:10 Eastern on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn. Since 1995, Alabama's sports talk leader, Tiger Communications, proudly presents Sports Call. It's time to join our Sports Call crew as they discuss the latest headlines and happenings around Auburn and the entire sports world. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. We're taking phone calls all show long and want to talk about whatever you've got on your mind. And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show, Sports Call.
Second hour Sports Call beginning right now. Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie, Connor Knight with you here today. Appreciate you tuning in, no matter how you are tuning in on this Friday. That includes on our stream on Facebook and YouTube, and we actually got a couple of questions submitted. It is admittedly in a two-man studio, a little bit hard for me to see while we are live, so apologize if
my bad too. Should have kept it in.
Question goes unanswered for a little while, but we do have a couple questions, so we'll tackle them on the show. Again, appreciate the participation. One is, which player on Auburn's team will have a breakout year? So who's your breakout player this year?
I'm sticking with Elijah Melendez. I think the experience he got last year for Auburn at that linebacker position is huge, and him playing with Xavier Atkins for his second year is just as big too. And I think them together, I think Adkins is going to give Melendez so many opportunities, and just really, I think part of what's going to happen is Adkins is going to kind of take a step back, and Melendez is going to kind of sort of meet expectations with Adkins. You're going to see two really good linebackers where, like, last year it was Adkins, everybody else. I think Adkins is going to kind of lower everybody else's bar because of how good he is and make Melendez have a breakout season.
So, based off our conversation we had in the first hour, I feel it would be a smidgen hypocritical if I went an offensive player, because I just said I think there's going to be so many guys in the depth chart that play, and it's going to be hard to accrue big raw numbers. I will give you one with, again, the acknowledgement that I'm not saying it's going to be a huge season. I just think it's going to be a better season than what people are referring to. They don't talk about him as much. I think Jeremiah Coger will have a really productive season at wide receiver. I know that we talk a lot of Keyshawn Singleton, a lot of Chaz Nimrod. Those guys will certainly be productive, but I think Jeremiah Coger is nothing to slouch at. I think he was productive in the absence of Chaz Nimrod, and he's a little younger player, so I think there's a lot of growth and development going on right now. So I'm going to go Coger. I think it's really hard to go running back because, I think the distribution is going to be such that you're going to get a lot of people with opportunities, but no one is necessarily, other than maybe Jeremiah Cobb, able to take a lot of the carries, to take a good percentage of them. Defensively, I've been very high from the get-go on Jared Smith. I'm optimistic. I think Auburn needs him or Deshaun Womack to break out, to be honest with you. I think they need that pass rush, and I think that, again, it's not even just Keldrick Falk. I know Keldrick Falk was awesome, of course, first-round pick. I mean, what can you say? But I thought Kieron Crawford was a really productive player too. He goes in the middle rounds of the draft, and to lose both those guys in the same year, like, again, you're bringing a guy with Deshaun Womack with just a couple sacks a year, so the production not high. Jared Smith, we saw something good early when Auburn was playing some weaker competition. Obviously, the rotation stiffened a little bit in the SEC, so I'm going to go Jared Smith because I think, A, he's got the ability, but B, I think Auburn really has the need to jump out at that position. Other question we had during the break was on the NFL side of things. We'll be talking NFL a lot here in another week or two as Jack jumps for joy in the lobby area. We'll be getting there, though. We'll be doing our previews with that also. We've just been very SEC preview heavy, but in a couple of weeks we'll be doing NFL preview. That week in between the preseason, the regular season, as college begins, middle of the week, we'll get into our NFL stuff. But a quick question was, who's a fantasy sleeper that you have? The gentleman said he had Jonathan Taylor as his sleeper. Taylor is, I think, to my knowledge, still a pretty high
still really,
pick,
really high rated.
But you can have a sleeper of value even if it's in an early round that you just think is going to be much better than the draft projection. I admit I do not partake in NFL fantasy, actually. We do usually have a guest friend of the program, Joe Bartle, on each year to talk fantasy, so I am constantly talking about it with him, even though I'm not partaking. So do you have someone in mind?
Name just popped into the mind. I was trying to think about it during the break. Nicholas Singleton from the Tennessee Titans, running back. I think he has potential in that running back room for Tennessee to have.
That's a big time sleeper. That'd be like a grab off the bench.
Very, very
guy.
late.
Yeah.
But yes, I think later down the line, sort of the same as the Texans had. I think Damon, forget, he was from Florida, but sort of the same type of. I can't remember, blanking on his last name. I just remember it was Damon something. Sort of the same type of thing where he out of college had a good running back, and wasn't projected to play very much, but as the season went on, somebody got injured. And
wasn't Devin Singletary?
No, it wasn't Devin Singletary.
Okay. He bounced around but was productive compared to what they thought he'd be. So I've tried to think of a name that I would feel convicted in, just league wide in general.
Justin Jefferson would be another one, just because he's dropped.
Justin Jefferson's dropped,
which is crazy. I was thinking the same thing. He's considered, I think, wide receiver.
Oh,
because of the Vikings.
Minnesota's quarterback
Yeah,
situation,
and it's
I
kind of
guess,
like
but-
that's ridiculous because it's Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
and he's gonna catch anything in
I
a
don't know if I can define him as a sleeper.
5-foot
Yeah.
radius.
Yeah.
So
Can I give you a couple things I wouldn't touch? One, I would not touch a San Francisco 49er. The injury bug there, I don't know. Substation or not, for those that follow, there's a substation. There's like electric substation
Yep.
power plant right next to the practice field, and people scientifically believe or are trying to prove scientifically that it has something to do with all the injuries San Francisco has. San Francisco has notably been the most or one of the most injured teams in the league the last couple of years. I'm not saying you have to buy that. I'm just giving you what people have said. But the 49ers did have already had a ton of injuries in the preseason. I don't want to touch them. They've got some older players that in general I wouldn't love if you're looking for a consistent player, even as good as Christian McCaffrey is. Like, that's not my preference. If you're talking high volume running back, he was healthy last year, and that scares me. I don't feel like that would happen again.
Yeah, not the norm.
You know, Mike Evans coming back from his worst season, you know, would make me nervous.
Always injured also.
Sure. So Kittle coming back, don't want to do
Always
that.
injured also.
So I would just say don't take a 49er high. What else we got? Can I actually get a I mean, I love Tedero McMillan.
Yeah.
Carolina. I'm all in on him as a football player. I don't know if Bryce Young consistently gets the
yeah.
ball enough.
That's the only problem with Carolina. I would say Rams, because I think the Rams are going to be really good. It's just there's so much
all their
talent.
players.
Yeah, so much talent. It's just, you know, who's going to get the ball the most? Is it going to be Nakua? Is it going to be Devontae Adams?
Yeah.
Who's going to get it?
I wouldn't take Ashton Genty first overall, like someone on the internet did.
Yeah, definitely not doing that. Don't make that mistake. Not Oakland, excuse me.
Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah. Woo. The Raiders very, very rough season ahead. I have a feeling for the Raiders.
Fair enough.
Brock Bowers, maybe. Brock Bowers,
I mean,
maybe the only one you touch.
There's not many tight ends I touch, but Trey McBride, Brock Bowers,
Kraft,
top the list.
Tucker Kraft.
So, yeah, I don't know if we perfectly answered that one, but appreciate those questions. If you do ever have questions while watching the program, Facebook and YouTube, make sure you chime in. We'll be happy to engage in the chat a little bit with the on-air product. But we continue on here. Again, we were talking Auburn a little bit in hour number one. So update for you on the college football court sagas, which I really just don't want to have to be spending time on. So we'll keep it a little bit brief. But just to update you, I'm sure everyone is at least a little bit curious or hopeful or whatever. But so the ruling in Colorado that was like a blanket waiver for everybody. Everybody to get a fifth year, I should say. Basically, class of 2022. Think of it like high school. You know, you usually in college, you don't usually think the class of 2020, you know, like that. But in high school, it's very much, all right, graduating class of 2014, 2016, 2018, whatever. But for the class of 2022 in college, okay, that was a blanket, you can do this, basically, okay? That federal ruling now is no longer with what came out of Colorado earlier this morning, okay? It's not a blanket waiver anymore with the new ruling. It does not impact the hodgepodge of states that have already had rulings who have returned to school based on that ruling. So, again, that ruling was about the whole class. But when that ruling came, I know it's convoluted, but when that ruling came out, other local courts looked at that ruling and said, okay, these people can play, and used that as a basis. Those local courts would have to all renounce that ruling, would all have to then change that. I don't know what the legal term is, but would have to reconvene, change it. So the local court rulings still apply for those that have made them, and that's why some are still eligible. Time is short for the state rulings, obviously. The plaintiffs in that case in Colorado can file petition for reconsideration of that stay, but it's unlikely. The calendar favors the NCAA in that regard. So let me try to condense it down. Blanket waiver, no. Local one-offs in certain states, still okay. And I think that part is still very frustrating because, and look, it would be frustrating if you're against all of it or for all of it, because it now is implying that the local has more authority in this case than the federal, which would make really no sense. And it goes back to what colleges, wow, way back when, like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, when everyone was bickering over NIL rules for the first time, the concern was that each state would operate differently. Oh, I can give an unlimited sum to a player in Florida, but in California I cannot. Or I can give this, I can give this many deals out in Alabama, but I can only give this many out in Michigan. Like that was the initial concern. So this is more along those lines of if you've already ruled on it in Louisiana or Texas or Tennessee or whatever, those players involved in that ruling are good to go. Whereas just the mass waiver of guys that have not jumped on to any one particular lawsuit or gotten any one particular local ruling, they're now not good to go. So an instance, I'll give you a couple basketball instances. Keyshawn Hall is now not eligible. Keyshawn Hall, who I've used as an example, obviously, because it's an Auburn example, is not now eligible. Seth Trimble, who you might recall from North Carolina for 4 years, who transferred to Louisville. Louisville announced his signing this morning. 1 hour later, this blanket ruling makes him ineligible. Someone that is eligible, let's go to football. Thomas Castellanos is eligible, the former Florida State quarterback. He's been linked to Texas Tech. Connor talked about this with me off air briefly today. Castellanos is eligible right now. Unclear on others, but it's a mess, and I'm going to, again, tell you the best I can what everyone needs to know, and I think that's in the needs to know category for your Friday.
Yeah, again, it seems like it's just going to boil down to find a judge who just agrees with you. Just find somebody who says you're good to play, because the federal level just doesn't have the authority or whatever to, I guess, enforce all the way. So then it comes down to the local level, and the local level's like, well, they're our guys, so we'll let them play. And like Louisiana did, and hey, you're all ready to go. You found a judge who agrees with you, your point of view. So I don't know. I agree with you, Ryan. I think it's frankly baffling that it's even like, hey, these guys have been playing on NFL training camps. Let them go back and play college kids. Yes, that's a good idea. That does not hurt the integrity of the sport at all. I think it's just so ridiculous. It's just kind of like it's la la land. You never thought you'd ever get to this point, but college basketball opened up the floodgates with hey, you want to play in the NBA and come back? It opened everything up, so it's just a disaster. And I think it's really just going to come down to they're going to have to do something in the federal level. It's like, hey, again, like enforce it all the way through. So
I mentioned the Seth Trimble case in basketball 45 minutes ago. North Carolina put out, the squad is set. Here's our 2026 roster. Don't know if that was subtly a jab or not.
We're going to find a judge that agrees with us.
But obviously, but Seth Trimble's not on it because he's not eligible for anybody. But it's breeding a lot of questions. And again, I don't want to say the sentence, which I feel like I'm going to say at some point during this year. The season will have started, and I'm going to say something like, today Texas added so-and-so, or today LSU added so-and-so from the practice squad in the National Football League, or so-and-so was ruled eligible today, meaning that he is free to transfer anywhere. Looks at calendar, it's October 15th. I don't want to be saying those things, and I don't think that should be a very hard thing to ask for, that in college sports we're not actively adding players previously ineligible, not because of the old traditional, the guy was not academically eligible, or he was awaiting an NCAA ruling for a transfer waiver back in the old days of, you can only transfer for this, that, and the other thing. No, it is. We're trying to see if a new rule exists or not. We're trying to bend a new one. We're challenging one that's currently already in place. I don't think that's healthy to be doing into a season. I don't know what another equivalent would be, because these guys are going back to play down. It's not trying to go and play up. They're coming back to play down.
Yeah.
And I think that's another, I think that's a whole can of worms for, again, the athletes that have already committed to these schools and already are in these spots. So it's a mess.
Yeah.
But there's your update on it.
Yeah, it just feels like everything's rules were made to be broken to the extreme. Let's see how far we can push it.
On everyone's dorm room, everyone's athletic complex.
Break
that's the
every
slogan. It's
rule.
not like, compete every day or win each day. It's challenge each rule is written on everyone's laptop, complex, phone, etc. All right, let's take our first time out here of the 4 o'clock hour. We'll be back with much more after this. This is the Friday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
The Sports Call crew wants to hear from you. Give us a phone call at 334-887-3401.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Looking for the best credit card rate in town? The rate on Auburn University Credit Union's MasterCard starts at 7.9% APR. That's right, 7.9% APR. For more information or to apply, visit one of their 3 locations or myaucu.org. Annual percentage rate. Auburn University Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender.
Today will be not quite as scalding, as we'll see high temperatures in the low 90s as opposed to the mid to upper 90s that we've seen so many times in the last week. With it, we'll see an increased coverage area of shower and thunderstorm activity, between 40 to 50% of the area seeing some rain. On Saturday, we return near the mid 90s again, and the coverage area of showers and thunderstorms goes back down a bit, around 20% of the area seeing some rain. Low temperatures both nights into the low 70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
It's heating up at Suns Ford in Auburn with the hottest sale of the year. Now's the time to save big on a huge selection of new Ford trucks, SUVs, and cars. Whether you're looking for a rugged F-150, a family-friendly Explorer, or a fuel-efficient Escape, you'll find incredible deals waiting for you. Don't let these summer savings pass you by. Visit Suns Ford in Auburn today or shop online at sunsford.com and pick the Ford you've been wanting at a price you'll love. Suns Ford in Auburn, where the hottest deals of the year are happening now.
Whether it's enjoying a night in with good friends and close family or having some fun in the great outdoors, don't forget to grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola from one of your 17 local 2K's convenience stores. Every sip of an ice-cold refreshing Coke helps make whatever you are doing memorable. With a variety of options to choose from, 2K's has a Coke for every occasion. So don't forget to stop by any one of your local 17 2K stores today and pick up an ice-cold Coca-Cola.
At Southern Union State Community College, success isn't a solo journey. It's powered by something bigger. A herd of faculty, mentors, industry partners, and a community committed to helping you move forward. Whether you're earning a degree that prepares you for immediate entry into the workforce, transferring to a university, or learning a new skill, Southern Union helps you find your strength and run with it. Herd powered, performance driven. Southern Union State Community College. Apply today at suscc.edu.
Looking for great deals while supporting a great cause? Visit Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, conveniently located on East University behind Zaxby's. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 5 with a huge selection of furniture, clothing for the whole family, books, home decor, and so much more. Have items to donate? We'll gladly accept donations at the back of the store from 10 until 4. Shop, donate, and make a difference at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, where every purchase helps change lives.
The Rape Counselors of East Alabama provide free and confidential services to survivors of sexual assault, their family, and friends, and to provide sexual assault prevention education. The RCEA also offers financial assistance to survivors with out-of-pocket expenses that aren't covered by Alabama Crime Victims Compensation. All funds collected directly assist survivors to help with the healing process as well as other community and recovery needs. To learn more, go to rapecounselorsofeastalabama.com. The RCEA is seeking donations for the Auburn Assault Victim Fund. If you would like to donate, visit GoFundMe.com/Auburn Victim Fund.
Looking to put the cherry on top of the perfect meal? Honey Baked Ham in Opelika has you covered, with desserts that are almost too good to share. From our rich cinnamon and blueberry coffee cakes to southern pecan, apple caramel walnut, and more, our pies are pure comfort in every bite. And if cakes are your thing, we've got coconut, triple chocolate, and of course, a classic red velvet that'll make you wish every day was dessert day. There's no better way to finish your meal than with a sweet treat from Honey Baked Ham. Come get yours today, located at 1451 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Follow Sports Call on Twitter at SportsCallAU. Like us on Facebook at SportsCallAU.
Welcome back. This is the Friday edition of Sports Call, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. And streaming live, Facebook and YouTube at Sports Call Auburn. Ryan Lavoie, Connor Knight with you here today. Again, exciting to have high school football back. Going to have Beauregard High School football against Reeltown coming up at 6:30 this evening, 7 o'clock kickoff on Tiger 95.9. Also got Lochapoka and Lynette, 6:30 on FM Talk 93.9. And directly following that game is going to be the HSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show, 10 p.m. to midnight, or a little bit after 10 if the game runs long. But excited to have high school football back, and also ready to make an announcement on our college offerings for this year. We're excited. We certainly appreciate the relationship we've had the last few seasons with Touchdown Radio, but we are changing who we partner with on FM Talk 93.9. We're going to be in conjunction with Westwood One here this fall and their offerings of college football this season. We'll have that complete schedule out to you next week, but their coverage will start next Saturday with North Carolina and TCU in week 0, so you can listen to that game on FM Talk 93.9. We're also proud to announce that we'll be the home in East Alabama of the NFC and AFC championship games, and the Super Bowl is coming to FM Talk 93.9 this season. So we're certainly really excited about that. So all season long, college football on FM Talk 93.9 with Westwood One, and then their coverage of the conference championship games and the Super Bowl coming this winter. So we're really excited about that. Again, first time that we've had that on our airwaves, so looking forward to the coverage of that. Of course, we continue our relationship right here on 95.9 with the Atlanta Falcons. As you already know, they've got their second preseason game coming up tomorrow. We will not have their third because it would conflict with Beauregard High School football next Friday. But, of course, you'll hear each and every regular season game of the Falcons right here on Tiger 95.9. So, loaded slate for you as sports are back. Connor Knight.
Yeah, you can't express how much the rest of the year kind of drags along without football, because it's just it's really remarkable when football gets here. Everything improves. The weather gets better. My mood improves.
Uh-huh.
I'm happier. I look forward to Saturdays more. It's just, I mean, I can't. Again, I can't. It's hard to put into words how much football means to me.
Right.
And football, I think Saturdays in general just mean to everybody. So,
Well, then that mood gets tested.
well,
when your
we don't talk
favorite
about that.
team
We don't talk about that, Ryan. It's all sunshine and rainbows.
misses the wide open receiver.
Or he drops the ball.
Yep. Has the big
Or there's
turnover.
a penalty.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
we don't need to bring that up right now.
Don't worry about
Ryan.
that.
No. We'll let that happen in the first week of football when Auburn and Baylor kick off and you start, your stomach starts to grumble and you start being like, oh no. Is Byron Brown gonna be the savior that was promised? You're just gonna start worrying about things. And again, it's hard to put.
I might be misremembering. Is the last time Auburn opened in Atlanta the 2018 Washington game? Was that the last time? I know they opened in 2015 against Louisville.
That's the game that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
That I always think of when I think of Auburn football opening days. I think of 2015 Auburn Louisville because you remember Jeremy Johnson.
Yeah.
Jeremy Johnson. And Louisville had a little dude named Lamar Jackson, who was I think he was a wide receiver, was he not, or something like that?
They didn't know what he was going to be because I saw the highlights the other day. He actually was in the game on the first play, and they trick played to him to try to throw it through an interception.
Yes, yes, to Trey Matthews.
Yeah. So, I think 2018 was because 2019 the Oregon game was in Dallas or Houston, one of the two, I think. When Auburn beat Oregon there.
Oregon is in Dallas. Was opened in Dallas for the Kickoff Classic.
So 21, because they obviously just had the because you got to think non-conference games, obviously. Mm-hmm. So they just had Baylor last year. They had the 2 with Cal, and that was 23 and 24, and 21 and 22 were Penn State, which was a home and home. So yeah, pretty good. The 18 is Washington. The point I'm making is that I feel like Auburn's not had the best seasons when they opened Atlanta because they also had the year, what was it, Clemson in Atlanta in 12.
Yeah.
That ended up being the disaster class, and then they had the home and home or something. I don't know. They played Clemson. They played Clemson so many times, but I digress. It has not usually meant a great season for Auburn in Atlanta. The 2018 season, the 7-5 with the blasting of Purdue in the bowl game. To be fair, Auburn would take that this year. If you told me 7-5 with a bowl victory, I think that'd be a really excellent place to start. It was just that 2018 team on the heels of 17 when you go to the SEC title game. You'd beaten Bama and Georgia, still have Stidham back. Expected to do more than 7-5, but that would be a fair place to start. The Baylor game, Connor, as we just kind of spitball here, spend a few minutes on it. Is there anything? I hate to bring it to you this way. Well, let me say this. What needs to be seen that you would make it for you? It would feel different than when Auburn went to Waco last year and won, because to not revise history, there was there was healthy optimism. It was not we're saved, but it was real optimism after putting 38 on Baylor. The hang up was that Jackson had not had to throw a lot, but he was really successful as a runner, as the whole team was. And Auburn had a really good fourth quarter in that game. So how can they make this thing different against Baylor this year?
I don't want to say be tested, because it kind of felt like in that Baylor game last year they were never really tested, because Baylor kind of was like, we're going to drop everybody back and see if you can run the ball. And Auburn gladly took it and ran the ball a bunch, and that was the only time last season they did that. So for me, I think the thing that's going to be most important to see, again, is just how Auburn reacts when things don't go the right way in that first game. When Baylor gets their first touchdown, or Byron Brown turns the ball over, or Cobb fumbles it, or something goes wrong, Baylor does an onside kick or something like that. I just want to see how the team reacts. Do they lay down, or do you keep fighting? It's because it's game one. It's going to be really interesting. Because I think Golish, everything he's done so far has been so energetic. It'd be really surprising to see anything other than just pure, like, unadulterated passion and like not stopping, even when you are down. So that's the thing that's going to be most important for me is how do you react when you get punched in the mouth, and then I guess more to make it on a position group is the O-line, is to see how much of a push the O-line can get in that first game. Is Byram having time to throw every single time? Are there times when it's not? That's what I'm going to be looking for.
So for me, it's tough because if you want to see proof Auburn's going to win a bunch of games, you'd need Auburn to smack around Baylor. And even then, there'd be a hint in the back of your mind like, well, Baylor just needs to fire and that's not going to necessarily translate. But Auburn's deal here is that they need to prove that they're going to be able to win some close games. And I'm not saying that Auburn has to beat Baylor close. I don't prefer it that way. Of course, I would want Auburn to win by 4 touchdowns and have a very, hey, we check the boxes, man. So I think it's kind of tough that they're going to be able to prove the close in situations part of it against Baylor. What I do think they can do is, did they score touchdowns when they entered the red zone? Did they finish the first half well, either get the stop or go get points? The situational football that exists without it having to be a one-possession game under 5 minutes to play, because situational football is not just that. There's many situations in the game of football. Did you convert 3rd and shorts? Did Byron Brown execute the throws that were there? Like, those things are transferable to a wealth of opponents. Again, obviously better opponents make those things more difficult, but if they've already shown they've got the baseline of what it means to convert on short yardage, to convert in the red zone, to take advantage of the timing of the half, those things at least show me they're on the right track and that they would be able to win some close games. Maybe not close games against great teams, but close games against teams of a similar caliber. So there's not a particular score. I don't even know if there's a particular yardage. I want to see them execute in situational football. And then with Byron Brown, I do want there to be some proof of passing because you can't prove the ceiling of him in the SEC really at all against Baylor. You certainly can't prove it if he's going to only throw for 100 yards because they ran so effectively they didn't need him to throw. It doesn't prove anything against him. And I'll still say that about last year with Jackson Arnold. That did not prove he couldn't. It just didn't prove that he could. And we got down the line and we realized he couldn't. Same thing against Baylor this year. If Byron Brown's 10 of 15 for 100 yards and a touchdown, that didn't prove anything. It didn't prove he couldn't. It also didn't prove he could. I expect Auburn to be able to run the ball against Baylor. I think it'd be very concerning if they couldn't.
Yeah.
So what did they do passing-wise? What kind of throws did Byron make? Did he execute that? It is going to be very eye test. It's not going to be as results-based. When you play a team you expect to beat, it's not as results-based.
Yeah.
It is more of how it looked and functioned and felt. And so, to me, it's not a particular number of any of it, stats, points, yards, whatever. It is those situations I talked about, and it's whatever opportunities Byram does have for the football. Did he find the open receiver? Was it on time and on target? Did he look comfortable? Is this indeed the offense he's been running for years, but just against different competition? And, go from there. I think, again, it's a step above all those group of 6 games that most teams will play in week 1. But unfortunately, Baylor's not a team that I expect to compete in the Big 12. Last year, I thought it was possible.
With Sawyer Robinson.
Exactly. And DJ Lagway's capable, but okay, I don't think Lagway will be as good as Sawyer Robertson, even if he is. How'd it go last year?
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah.
So even if he got to Sawyer Robertson's level, maybe they champ out another win or two because the defense gets incrementally better. But they've shown us they don't understand defense in Waco.
Yeah.
And they're not. I don't think they're going to roll out of bed this year and just be 8 points a game better. So Baylor's, to me, a 6-6 type of team, and maybe a 5-7 team, and that's who they are. And we can bicker back and forth, SEC and Big Ten. The ACC and the Big 12 are not the SEC and the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So beating a 6-6 Big 12 team to me is not going to prove much of what I need to see the development of a program. And that would go for if Florida went and did it. If Florida was playing Baylor, if
Campbell.
South Carolina was playing Baylor, it would prove. I guess South Carolina was so bad last year. 4-8.
Yeah.
Maybe Lenoris could do so. Like I said, same thing for Auburn. Maybe Lenoris could throw for a bunch of yards, or he could execute great and clutch moments and make me feel better. But I'm not going to be convinced. And that's the one thing about these games is you still have the inkling, you have the desire to, because it's a Power 4 team, feel that you learned a lot. When in reality, there's still a lot of variables in week 1 of the season, and especially a team that's expected to be fighting for bowl eligibility themselves.
Yeah. And one other thing that I was thinking about was, again, you can't really say, because it's the first game, you expect some mistakes. How many times is Auburn penalized in the first game?
Sure.
And when do they come? Does it come at third down like it did last year? Does it kill drives? Penalties kill drives like they did last year. I'm not expecting great things, because was something that has been plaguing Auburn since Gus Malzahn left, and was a kind of sort of a problem at times with Gus, was just penalties that just kill drives.
Oh yeah,
just
his offenses couldn't handle.
First down,
for
just
the
can't
most
do
part.
it. And if that happens, will be some doubt. But I hope and expect a very well disciplined football team.
Yeah. Again, I like what I see. Again, I hope to be fighting back incredibly optimistic statements. I'm saying this now 15 days out
trying
to make sure I'm held accountable so that I don't come on air Monday after the Baylor game. It's like, Auburn's winning 10 games. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Did you see that offense? Like, again, just because the eyes have been hurting for so long. So, again, I'm already putting some checks and balances on myself 2 weeks out. All right, let's take one more time out here in hour number 2. This is the Friday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Stay tuned. You're listening to the multi-time Abby Award-winning Sports Call.
Every day we power homes and businesses in our communities, but we also power something else. Bright futures for our youth. We visit classrooms to speak on topics ranging from career opportunities to leadership skills. And we help make college possible by providing scholarships to deserving students. Bright futures are ahead, and we help make it happen. Brought to you by Tallapoosa River Electric Cooperative.
When the game is on the line, heroes rise, and off the field, real heroes deserve their moment too. Game Day for Heroes is all about giving back, providing unforgettable game day experiences to the brave men and women who've served our great nation. It's more than just tickets. It's about saving lives, restoring families, building tomorrow, and honoring our heroes. You can help make a difference. For more information or to donate tickets, visit GameDayForHeroes.org. Game Day for Heroes, because those who serve deserve a game day they'll never forget.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. Make sure you listen to the Weekday Rush with James Chandler on Tiger 95.9 FM and the Tiger Communications app.
Good morning, my neighbors!
The Atlanta Falcons are back in the hunt for a playoff berth, and you can come along for the ride. Tune in to your exclusive home in East Alabama for the Falcons. Tiger 95.9 all season long for all the hard-hitting action.
Still looking left, checks it back across the middle, intercepted on the backside. Jesse Bates, 20, 15, 10, 5, house call. Touchdown Atlanta. Jesse Bates has a pick six.
This new-look team has their eyes set on the playoffs, and you don't want to miss a single second of the action.
And here goes Bijan Robinson, 30, 35, 40, midfield. It's a foot race. Robinson 30, 15, 10, 5, house call. Are you serious? Oh, my goodness. He just went 93.
For a complete schedule of broadcasts, make sure to visit our website, thetiger.fm.
Snap spot. It is good. Fly home safely. Atlanta wins.
It's another action-packed season of Atlanta Falcons football on Tiger 95.9.
Brought to you locally by Sons Ford, May Refrigeration, Waldo's Chicken and Beer, Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, and Tiger Iron Gym.
The summer heat is here, and the best way to make sure you stay cool all season long is to give May Refrigeration a call. When your AC goes out or needs maintenance, May Refrigeration's technicians are trained and equipped to handle anything that comes their way. And don't forget, it's never a bad time to get your heating system checked, especially when you aren't using it. Give May Refrigeration a call today at 745-COLD. That's 745-COLD. So for quality customer service that you can count on every time, May Refrigeration, proudly serving the Auburn and Opelika area.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
I'm Trevon Reed, former Auburn Tiger football player, national champion. You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Welcome back. Sports Call on a Friday. Tiger 95.9, Tiger.fm, Tiger Communications app, YouTube, Facebook at Sports Call Auburn, or after the fact, Sports Call podcast presented by Coca-Cola. I had an ice cold vanilla Coke earlier today, and it made me happy. I'll be so honest with you right now. I went to Wendy's just because they had the Coke Freestyle machine, and I got vanilla Coke. And I made no apologies. If you have a Coke Freestyle machine, I will find you.
Yeah, they are elite, and I fear that they may not be long.
They don't have positive momentum.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how much it is to keep those up. I assume it's far worse than just the standard.
Just the original,
machines.
yeah.
If the movie theaters, I think the movie theaters will be the one holdout because you can't if you're going to charge $7 or $8 for the drink,
you might as well have
better be able
every
to
option.
get any. You got to get anything.
You can't make it. Yeah.
But yeah, I love a good ice cold Coca-Cola and especially a vanilla Coke. And again, they are our proud sponsors of the Sports Call podcast. We only got 2 or 3 minutes left here in the hour. We're not going to dive into it too deep. We will in the 5 o'clock hour though. Get into the Georgia Bulldogs. They are the preseason pick to win the Southeastern Conference. Shocker.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into their preview today. We're going to be done with previews after today. of teams. But next week, it's of conferences. Monday will be the group of 6. Welcome back, Pac-12. And then we'll go through the Power Fours the next 4 days.
Missed the Pac-12.
Yeah. Ready for a Boise State versus, I don't
Fresno
know.
State.
Fresno, yeah. It's just a Mountain West
I remember
championship game for the
those
Pac-12.
matchups of my youth. Yes, Boise State versus Fresno State. Yeah, those barn burners in the Pac-12. Them playing Washington State and Oregon and State and just fantastic
And
games.
others. I'll have to do
I
another
can only name like 4.
Yeah, everyone's going to have to do another crash course. Wait, who's in the Pac-12?
Yeah, no idea. Mountain
and
West
basketball,
teams.
Gonzaga's in it.
Yeah.
So we're doing that next week, and then the week following, I mean, we're ready. We'll have played some week 0 games. We might get into some Heisman, who would you pick for the Heisman and that sort of thing.
Arch Manning.
Got to do playoff picks. I'm not going to worry everyone with playoff picks next week. With all due respect to the teams playing week 0. No, I don't think North Carolina's making the playoff, and I don't think even if they beat TCU or vice versa, I don't think either team's playoff bound for beating each other. So we won't make everyone do the playoff picks until the following week. But again, we'll look at Georgia here, and now at this point, I've almost talked this out of time, but we'll go through Georgia. To be fair, we've had to talk about some of the head coaches of these other teams. I don't think we have to talk too much about Kirby Smart. He's still very good.
Yeah.
117-21 at Georgia. Their worst year in years was the 2024 year that they went 11-3 and still won an SEC championship against Texas. They have now won the SEC title 2 years in a row. They've been at least 5. I know they beat LSU in 2022. 2020, did we have an SEC? No, we did have an SEC championship game.
Yeah.
Bama won.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Georgia was in it.
I don't remember that either.
I don't remember. I don't know. Georgia's been in at least 5 SEC title games.
I know Georgia played in that SEC title game that they lost to Burrow. Lost to Burrow in that
the
one.
19.
Yes.
So if they were in 20, that's at least 7.
Yep.
And then we know they were in at 17, unfortunately.
Yeah. So
I don't know that. I want to go do some research. I've got a few minutes. We're going to do research and be like, oh, man, they were, and learn some unsettling things. We'll go do that, take our end of the hour timeout. We'll preview Georgia in 2026 next. And again, in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll also get to a what to watch for over the weekend. This is the Friday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Two hours of Sports Call are finished. Don't touch that radio dial. We've got one more hour to go.
Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory is here for you when you need us. With locations in Lee, Chambers, and Tallapoosa counties, serving the people of East Alabama and West Georgia since 1900. A family-owned and operated business, skip the hassle of the big corporate mortuaries. Our kind, compassionate team members are standing by to assist your family in the hardest of times. An on-site crematory, private cemetery, and a choice of facilities makes Frederick Dean unique. Visit us at frederickdean.com.
At Mid-South Bank, our banking philosophy is family comes first. You see, we're more than a safe place to put your money or get a loan. We're a place for you to put your trust. No matter what your financial needs, you'll come first every step of the way. Come in today at 519 East Glen Avenue or visit bankmidsouth.com to find out what the friendliest, most helpful bank in town can do for you. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Our Falcons play here.
What we do on the grass, what we do in this weight room, it's been fun to watch. A bunch of professionals.
It's a new team and a new season. Catch Falcons head coach Kevin Stefanski and Our Falcons tomorrow for game 2 of the preseason as our Falcons travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts.
Atlanta Falcons football on WTGZ Tiger 95.9.
TK's Convenience Stores, your gotta-have headquarters. You know, those things you just gotta have, but don't have time to waste in one of those huge pack stores. Nope, at TK's, we have your gotta-have items with no hassle, along with great customer service, high-quality items, and clean stores. So whether you need a 6-pack of your favorite beverage, milk, gasoline, or some cash from the ATM, TK's has it just minutes from you. TK's Convenience Stores, now with 17 locations to better serve you. Always there when you need us. The summer heat is here, and the best way to make sure you stay cool all season long is to give May Refrigeration a call. When your AC goes out or needs maintenance, May Refrigeration's technicians are trained and equipped to handle anything that comes their way. And don't forget, it's never a bad time to get your heating system checked, especially when you aren't using it. Give May Refrigeration a call today at 745-COLD. That's 745-COLD. So for quality customer service that you can count on every time, May Refrigeration, proudly serving the Auburn and Opelika area.
Some beers are made to blend in. Blue Moon Belgian White was brewed to stand out. Crafted with Valencia orange peel for a bright citrus taste and a smooth, refreshing finish, it's the perfect way to elevate any occasion. Served best with an orange garnish, every sip brings out its signature flavor. Whether you're unwinding after work or gathering with friends, reach for something a little brighter. Blue Moon Belgian White. Made brighter, please enjoy responsibly.
On Saturdays, we all wear orange and blue, but every day, Auburn University Credit Union is proud to serve the people who make this community strong. Whether you're opening your first account, buying your first car, planning for your future, or growing your business, we're here for every chapter, because at Auburn University Credit Union, you're more than a customer. You're a member. You're an owner. Your family. Auburn University Credit Union, rooted in Auburn, committed to you. To learn more, visit myaucu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender. NMLS number 530633.
Looking for great deals while supporting a great cause? Visit Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, conveniently located on East University behind Zaxby's. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 5 with a huge selection of furniture, clothing for the whole family, books, home decor, and so much more. Have items to donate? We'll gladly accept donations at the back of the store from 10 until 4. Shop, donate, and make a difference at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, where every purchase helps change lives.
This fall, tune into savings at Jimmy's Car Stereo. With crisp autumn air and cozy drives ahead, make your rides even better with our top-of-the-line car stereos and accessories. From boom and bass to crystal clear sound, Jimmy's has the perfect upgrade to make your vehicle the ultimate fall soundtrack. Plus, make sure your football tailgate playlist is the best sounding on the plains with a new system from Jimmy's. Visit Jimmy's Car Stereo today at 908 Opelika Road in Auburn or online at jimmyscarstereo.com. Jimmy's Car Stereo, serving the community for over 30 years.
Keeping your money in a traditional savings account is like using the Yellow Pages instead of Google. Outdated and slow. Skip the small, slow returns and put your money to work with the Max Elevate Money Market. You get all the same security of a savings account, plus the ability to earn even more on your money. Get started at mymax.com/elevate or call us at 260-2600. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The best high school football lives each week on FM Talk 93.9. The East Alabama High School Football Game of the Week returns for another action-packed season, and you can hear all the best games from the area each week with myself, Brooks Childress, and the rest of the crew on the call. Coverage begins with the countdown to kickoff each game day, and you can hear all the action online at thetiger.fm and on the free Tiger Communications app. It's the East Alabama High School Football Game of the Week only on FM Talk 93.9. Brought to you by Fairway Auto Brokers, Southern State Community College, United Auto Collision, Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, Jeffcoat Trent Funeral Home, Sons Ford, and Auburn Reaper Graphics.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn.
This is the Tiger Communications Sports Report, brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. I'm Ryan Lavoie. Back in April, Auburn baseball redshirt sophomore Alex Petrovic was named the Southeastern Conference Co-Pitcher of the Week for the week of April 13th after his complete game shutout versus Kentucky, the league office announced. Petrovic was the third Auburn pitcher and fifth player to be recognized by the league office this past season. Petrovic retired the first 11 batters he faced, including 4 of the first 6 on strikeouts, and ultimately finished with 8 strikeouts, one shy of his then career high. The Atlanta Braves moved back up in the latest power rankings of MLB teams from ESPN. The Braves claimed sole possession of third place this week, moving out of the tie for fourth last week. The move up comes despite a week that saw the Braves lose their series against the Diamondbacks and get swept by the Twins. Atlanta still trails the Brewers and Dodgers in the rankings, but is still atop the NL East, with the Phillies staying at 8. And the Atlanta Braves ended their 4-game losing streak yesterday with a 2-0 win over the Chicago White Sox in a makeup game. The scoring on the day would be all Austin Riley starting in the third inning.
3-2 pitch. Riley hits it hard deep down the left field line to the corner, a fair ball. That one hops off the wall. Dubon hits the back of third. They will send him. Sox hit the cutoff man. Throw to the plate, a dive for the dish. Save! 1-0 Braves.
That audio courtesy of the Atlanta Braves Radio Network. Riley would then single in the second run of the day, in the 7th, to seal the win. Grant Holmes was magnificent on the mound, going 6 innings while only giving up 1 hit and striking out 3 batters on the day and improving to 8-5 on the year. Marcel Iglesias picked up his 26th save of the season, and White Sox pitcher Anthony Kay took the loss to fall to 9-6 on the season. The Braves continue their road trip in Milwaukee today, and you can hear all the action on AM 1230 WAUD. I'm Ryan Lavoie, and this has been your Tiger Communications Sports Report, brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union.
Auburn University Credit Union has partnered with Care Humane Society for the AUCU CARES debit card. It's free to you, and each time you swipe the card, AUCU makes a donation on your behalf. It's a win-win. For more information, visit myaucu.org. AUCU is federally insured by the NCUA and an equal opportunity lender.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn. Whether you're leaving work, cruising around town, or listening on demand, we've still got some fun left for you. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show has been on the air since 1995 and is ready for 60 more minutes of fun. Now, let's get this hour of Sports Call started.
Third and final hour of Sports Call beginning right now. Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie and Connor Knight coming live from our Auburn Bank studios for one more hour. Again, want to remind you about high school football coming up tonight. 6:30 right here on Tiger 95.9 with Beauregard High School football. And then Lochapoka Lynette at 6:30 on FM Talk 93.9 with the scoreboard show directly following it. So high school football has arrived. We get back to college, though, and we talk about the Georgia Bulldogs confirmed while the break was going on. It is 5 in a row that they've been in the SEC title game. 8 of 9 years.
Just disgusting.
2020 was Florida's trip with Dan Mullen. and losing that one in a high-scoring affair. So Georgia's been around the block, and they have been in this game a lot, and that's why they are picked to go back again. And we'll also get into the schedule, which, again, we've said numerous times is a bit on the lighter side. Structurally for the roster, though, I mean, they return some dudes defensively. When do they not? KJ Bolden still one that Auburn was so close to getting. He has been tremendous. Ellis Robinson, young guy, really, really good. I mean, they've just got dudes on the defensive side of the ball. Gunnar Stockton returns. Again, I thought that he had a really quality season. I think that it's really hard to impress people in this day and age of college football with pro-style type offenses. And I think that that's probably devaluing some of the credit when those guys run those offenses really well. I thought Gunnar ran it really well last year.
Yeah.
He didn't turn over the football, nearly a 70% passer. I did think Georgia could have run it a little bit better. They were better last year than they were the year before. The year before, they were really wretched. They had actually low-key kind of the Alabama year, of last year where Alabama really struggled with it. That was actually kind of Georgia 2 years ago. But we're still used to them getting right around the 200-yard per game mark. They were at 185 or 182 last year. So good total. I think that Nate Frazier going to be interested to see if there's another level to him. He was nearly a 1,000-yard back last year. See if he becomes one this season. So again, Connor, I don't see anything roster-wise that is a glaring issue. I do think that people have pointed out, and deservingly so, that wide receiver. Do they have a true playmaker out there? But they run everything so structurally sound. That's kind of been true for them for a couple years now. And it's not been a huge deal. I mean, they did the year they had Ladd McConkey. He was really good, but last year they got away with it. I didn't feel like they had a ton going on at wide receiver, and they were a 32-point a game offense. They could have been higher, but it didn't derail them, I didn't think.
Yeah, I think they haven't really had, like you said, the George Pickens guy, who I feel like was like AJ Green, George Pickens, probably like their two most. Just throw it to him. Just throw it to him. He's going to probably go up and get it. Ladd McConkey was a different beast entirely. That dude was just. You want a route run perfectly, it's Ladd McConkey 101, because he just always seemed to get open super fast speed. I agree with you. I think the wide receiver is the one place that's lacking. But everywhere else, like you said, it's just chock full of 5 and 4 stars that are, again, and like you said with Gunnar Stockton, I felt, to me, he was one of the most clutch players in college football last year. That felt like a lot of the time it was just hold on for the fourth quarter for Georgia, and then let Gunnar Stockton ball out and make throws and make plays. He did that in the Auburn game. I think the only game that he really didn't do it in was that Alabama game early on in the season, and then afterwards kind of took over. So I agree with you. I think it's Georgia under Kirby Smart, just dominance.
Again, 2024 Georgia was the kind of the low is kind of the low bar for them to clear by their standards, because that season they gave up 21 points a game. Only 2 Kirby teams had done that. They were at 31 points a game. That was the lowest number since 2019. And again, I told you the rushing total was the lowest, period, under Kirby. It's 124 rush yards a game. So, when you elevate those numbers back to more normalcy last year, again, 17.5 points a game, 32 offensively, back to 182 rush, trending back in the right direction, but not all the way there yet, as you saw. Again, I think finding a explosive playmaker would do them a lot of good, because what you're trying to do in pro style offenses, you're trying to run the football, and when you pass, you're usually playing off of your rushing concepts, like the play action. Big part of what you do when you do more stuff under center, and when you don't have someone to truly take the top off the defense, that's when your play action is not as scary. And, Zachariah Branch, their leading receiver last year, good
Yeah.
receiver, but 10 yards of reception. He had 81 catches. They threw it to him a ton, but he was not making a bunch of big plays with those receptions. He was a very standard, okay, you can throw it to him, be a good receiver, but it's not going to be over the top. So my question for them is, did they find an over-the-top receiver? The inkling I have is that they have not, and I think they're going to go 2 tight end sets a lot, and I think they're going to run. I think they're going to be the same type of offensive team. For Georgia's sake, last year's defense is not going to be their best, but in this age of college football, 15 to 17 points a game is still a great target to have, and they arrived at that. They lose, that Alabama game in Athens, and they don't lose again until Ole Miss kind of stuns them in that quarterfinal with all the offense. But, I mean, they had drubbed Alabama the second time.
Yeah.
And I thought they were on a really good trajectory, and then just Ole Miss, I think, playing out of their minds. In other words, I think there's a world Georgia is in the national title game last year. I don't think they were far off from that. So, but again, when you're Georgia and you had won a couple titles and then you get bounced in the quarters by Ole Miss, the tendency is to think that team was way off. And I don't think that's the case, in other words. And I know we all here are we're getting to the point with them like we did with Saban and Alabama, where you're just like, okay, when's the fall off, dude? When is it going to return to normal? And my answer is not this year.
Yeah.
I know there's some things recruiting wise. Georgia has been a little bit more hesitant to go portal route than average. They are more homegrown. They have continued that model, and they've not gone down the Clemson route, but they are on that half of the equation. They're not on the Lane Kiffin half, which is portal for everything if you can. So, I think that they are trying to lead the charge of that and show that you can still primarily do it with high school stuff. I think when you recruit as well as they do, you have a realistic shot of doing it. But it does open yourself up to, hey, if you would just do a little bit more in the portal, maybe you would go find that class receiver. Imagine, now again, this would be gross. Imagine if Georgia brought in Cam Coleman this year.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be able to find a hole with Georgia's team anymore.
Yeah.
If they found any impact, high value wide receiver, I would think that they would be fundamentally different. Because again, they don't need 3. Mm-hmm. They need one great one and then a decent one. That's all they need.
Yep.
And so until they grasp that part of it, I think people would be able to poke and pry a little bit and say, hey, maybe you should be doing this a little bit more. But again, Connor, I don't see any reason to change the expectations. I don't know. I did vote them to win the SEC.
Yeah,
would you have done that also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have made a bunch of predictions for the SEC, and they were undoubtedly number one. Yeah.
And it goes back into something I said earlier with Steve, because he was like, why in the world did Herb Street send Notre Dame? Well, first, I want to identify a team that I feel great will make the playoff.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be, look, the stat that we've been throwing around about the top 10 teams preseason top 10 teams that don't even stay ranked, okay? Well, guess what? If you're preseason top 10, the expectation is to make the playoff. And yet, someone every year doesn't even stay ranked. So someone's going to be way off. Someone in the top 10 is going to be way off. And so you're trying to identify the handful of teams that you can first work with under the premise that, yes, they're absolutely in the playoff. Georgia is one of those teams. I think Georgia is the obvious SEC team. I think there's 1 or 2 Big Ten teams that would flabbergast me if they're not in. I'd be shocked if Notre Dame's not in. I'd be shocked if Miami's not in. Their access to the playoff coming through the ACC is so much more doable than everybody else. They would have to have mental lapses and discipline issues and that sort of thing to me. But Georgia's the safest bet to me in the SEC. Let's look at the schedule. Tennessee State and Western Kentucky to start. So Georgia will know nothing about their football team for 2 weeks. Not a single thing. Yeah. September the 19th, they go to Arkansas.
Still won't.
Which is I think will be the worst team in the league. finally, Game 4 is when they have Oklahoma. It is in Athens, but that's a huge one.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's the preseason top 10. They have the expectation. Game 5, they host Vandy, and I don't expect a whole lot of hell from that. That will be mildly interesting with Jared Curtis, considering he had once committed to Georgia. But that will protect Georgia, in my opinion. The last couple of years, Georgia's got a little bit lazy against weaker teams. So it's one thing that I thought Kirby did really well with for a long time, and it's certainly something Saban always did well with, was, you're not let the smaller teams, especially when you're at home, they're not going to play around with you. But the last couple of years, Georgia's been lazy, I would say. And I think that Jared Curtis, being the Vandy quarterback, will let them not be lazy. They'll then go to Alabama, which is a huge one, obviously. And then they host Auburn before the bye week. After the bye week, Halloween, they got Florida. Again, this year's in Atlanta. I think next year will be either Tampa or Orlando, I think. November the 7th is at Ole Miss. It's a big one. November the 14th, they host Missouri. 21st at South Carolina. 28th, they host Georgia Tech. And so, Connor, to me, there's only 3 obvious games that are losable.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, at Alabama, at Ole Miss.
Yep.
If you want to market to me, if Georgia's going to be lazy, could the Georgia-Florida game be close? Sure. Or maybe, I don't know, if South Carolina's having a year worth its salt, since it's a road game, and since Georgia's pretty much at the end of the season. But those are stretches. This is, and it's been labeled it nationally, unless something unforeseen happens with their schedule, this is the easiest SEC schedule this year.
Yeah.
And I know there's the whole you can't play yourself, blah, blah, blah. Texas has a gauntlet.
Yeah.
And Georgia's non-conference game, and Georgia usually does a great job with this. This is not a criticism. Georgia played Notre Dame a bunch. They're about to play. This is not a normal thing for them.
Mm-mm.
But this year, their only non-conference game of note is Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Well, Texas plays Ohio State. So really doesn't get any tougher than that, no matter where you play them. And then we went through Texas's schedule yesterday. Yeah, they got Oklahoma too. Okay. So obviously they've got that. Yes, they don't play Bama, but they're at LSU and they're at A&M. And yeah, they do have Ole Miss at home, but then they were also at Tennessee. Georgia, meanwhile, was like, Arkansas? Vandy?
Yeah.
South Carolina? Like it's just isn't. It's one of those years that's just the fact of the matter. So with that in mind, let's get the ceiling and floor. Start with the floor for Georgia, Connor.
Yeah, the floor for me is 9-3. Like you said, they have 3 losable games. I think the worst they could do is lose those 3. I just do not see them losing more than 3 games. Honestly, 2 games could also be in there, but I'll go 3 just because it's the absolute worst. They're decimated by injuries. I could see them losing 3 games. Ceiling, it's 12-0.
You would that game in the ceiling?
Yeah,
too.
it's 12-0.
Okay.
It's 12-0. It's very easy.
Yeah,
12-0. They could win every single game, and I think they are.
I don't think I disagree. I thought about making the floor 10-2 instead because I just know how Georgia is, and we've just not seen them lose more than 2 regular season games in an awfully long time. If you want to be technical, then yes, 9-3 would be the ceiling because there's not more than 3. There's just not more than 3 losable games. And the fact that you do get Oklahoma at home, so there's not all 3 on the road, to me, it's like, man, I just don't. Oklahoma and Georgia will be a nasty football game. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to sell Oklahoma short. That will be incredibly low scoring. If anyone scores a touchdown early, they should feel like they have a big upper hand because I think the winner of that game could be at 14 points. Or 13. I mean, it could be 13-10.
How far Kirby Smart has gone from that Rose Bowl game a long time ago.
That's a great point. The contrast to Georgia-Oklahoma games.
Yeah.
It's a great point.
Crazy to think.
And to be fair, I mean, we didn't expect the Kirby team to give up that many points, but nor did we expect them to come roaring back with that many points. So that was a very drunk game compared to what most of Georgia football under Kirby has been. So I'll stop, seesawing here. I'll say the floor is 9-3 because they do play 3 good football teams, but with the acknowledgement that's not my prediction for their season. The ceiling is 12-0. There's zero doubt about it. They're the only SEC team I have with a ceiling of 12-0. If Georgia played two more really good SEC teams, if you threw in like an at Tennessee, and then you threw in like a Texas A&M or something,
it feels wrong that they're not playing Tennessee,
right? Or an LSU. If you threw in two more viable teams, I might change it to 11-1 and say that you just can't run through that gauntlet. But Georgia can manage this. Oklahoma and Alabama are a little close on the schedule. I get it. And look, I know Georgia piped them in the SEC title game. I kind of want to see them do it again against Alabama. Like, they still have a losing record against them. They have still been got more than they have. Even with the board. The board's 2-1.
Yep.
I mean, they got both regular season games. They just lost the conference title game last year. So there's still this thing in me for my actual record prediction, Connor. I'm going Georgia 11-1 because I still kind of feel like they're going to mess up the Alabama game.
Yeah.
Or, maybe Trinidad gets one more laugh on them in Oxford, but I think that Alabama game, because I've predicted Alabama to be 10-2. I think that Alabama game is going to save them, and it's going to be a very similar thing to last year. If Alabama doesn't beat Georgia last year, they're not in the playoffs.
Yep.
Okay? It doesn't matter what happened with the SEC title game. If they don't win the regular season meeting, they're not in. They go 9-3, just like they did in year one, although even that was with the win against Georgia. I think it's the same dynamic. I think we look back on it, Bama's 10-2, but they beat Georgia, and that's the thing that's going to get them in the playoff.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite thinking, just because I think last year's SEC championship game was Kirby kind of being like, okay, I think I might have conquered some of my demons when it comes to Alabama. So again, I think the one game that will potentially trip them up, like you said, is that Alabama game, just because of the track record and the history, and it's his former team where Nick Saban, and his start and all that stuff. So I'm going to go 12-0. I think they win every game. The only caveat I'll say is the only losable game I have in their schedule, like I think is serious possibility of them losing, is that Alabama game, just because Alabama for some reason has had their number.
Sure.
And just they cannot get over that hump. They could lose the Ole Miss and Oklahoma game, but I just think this Georgia team is really, really good, and Gunnar Stockton is phenomenal.
Which one more losable, Oklahoma or Ole Miss?
I'm going to go Oklahoma.
Home game, Ole Miss road game.
Yeah, forgetting.
Just trying to power rank here.
I'll say at Ole Miss is more losable, just because it's in Vaught-Hemingway, and what happened last year's. I think that Ole Miss team knows they can beat Georgia, and Oklahoma doesn't. So I'll go Ole Miss for sure.
The reason I'm more inclined to say Oklahoma, other than I'm taking the home field, is that Ole Miss will have just been through so many things already. They'll have already played LSU at Florida, and they'll play at Texas. And I'm nervous for Ole Miss that they're already a couple losses deep. Now, that if they're only 2 losses in, as opposed to 3, they're playing for their playoff livelihood. So, in a way, they think, oh, man, like this could save our season the way beating Georgia saved our season last year. Like, haha, we beat you without Lane Kiffin, haha. The problem is for Ole Miss, they're still not done because they go at Oklahoma the very next week. So, Ole Miss, again, another example of having a really tough ride this season.
Yeah.
Oklahoma will have played one big team, but this is still a Week 4 game. Oklahoma's season not trashed at all, even if they lose to Michigan, which I would still favor Oklahoma against Michigan. I know that one will be at the Big House. I am not. I'll give you little sprinklings of next week when we get Big Ten. I'm not high on Whittingham at Michigan. I'm not. I don't. I think coaches have primes too, and I think he's past his. And the reason I think that is that when the game evolves, you get to a certain age, you get too stuck in your ways. And I wonder if Whittingham is that way. Now, they'll still have a lot of talent, and I'm not going right off Michigan in the Big House that early in the season. I won't do it. But I have a pretty high confidence in Oklahoma for that one. If they lose it, that starts my whole deal I made earlier this week and last week about Oklahoma or Texas could come into their rivalry game with 2 losses, because if Oklahoma loses at Michigan, they lose at Georgia, they got 2 losses.
Yeah.
Someone picks up a 3rd loss in that game, they're done. Now, Venables just got the contract extension, so now I don't think they can fire him that quickly.
Yeah.
But they should not have given him the contract extension. Just
Here's
point blank, as I said.
6 and 6,
yesterday.
yeah.
So anyway, I think Oklahoma's slightly more likely, and Oklahoma's defense is so good. Like
Yeah.
Georgia sometimes, again, because it's pro style, they don't have to necessarily be very inventive or creative. They just kind of move you around a little bit. And that's why they don't need the playmakers all the games, because they're just kind of doing simple things. Look, Mike Bobo's the OC, and Kirby can defend him all he wants. Mike Bobo's not an elite OC.
Yeah.
If you want to say he's average, fine, but he's certainly not above average. And so when you're talking about having that, but you're still having 30-plus point a game offenses each and every year, that's because you're being able to execute the simple stuff and be able to move people around. You have great offensive lines, and they'll have another really good one.
Yeah.
But against Oklahoma, who has a great defense, and I mean theirs could end up being the best in the league,
Yeah.
you can't just move them around. You will have to make plays. Stockton will have to be good. You'll have to find a wide receiver of note, and you're not going to be able to run for 150, 200, or 200 yards on them. So that's why I think that could be, again, if they do actually beat Bama this year, but they came up with a loss, I would think it's the Oklahoma game, because that Brent Venables is the type of tough-minded guy to challenge a low-scoring game against them.
Yeah. I could totally see that. Yeah. I could totally see that. I just think that Ole Miss, just because it's at Ole Miss, and I think I agree with you. I think Ole Miss is not going to be as good as they were last year. I think Pete Golding, is not Lane Kiffin, obviously. And I expect Oklahoma to actually be pretty good because of Mateer and, like you said, their defense. So I just think it's that Vaught Hemingway and them knowing they've beat Georgia before. Hey, we did it last year. They bleed too.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. And so much of the thing, especially Georgia and Alabama, sometimes feels like teams just don't think they have a chance.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Mentality thing.
Yeah, and it's just, I think Ole Miss knows they can do it and has done it before in the regular season too. So that's why I would have to lean Ole Miss.
Yeah. Again, the reality is probably neither will win ultimately. It's tough to say because, again, I think Georgia will be the better team in all of these matchups. But it just becomes a situation where, Georgia has, even though they played around with some of their lesser competition in recent years, they have done a pretty good job at still not actually losing those games. They have been able to only lose to teams at the higher end. That's why I've just not really spent any time on the Missouris and South Carolinas of the world, because even if Georgia has played around a little bit with them, it's not happened to them recently. All right, let's take our next time out of the program today. On the other side of this break, get to another phone call. We'll also get to our what to watch for over the weekend. This is the Friday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Sports Call is on the air weekdays from 3 until 6 p.m.
I read a book about this sort of thing once.
Are you sure it was a book? Are you sure it wasn't nothing?
Oh, yeah.
We're Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Tiger Rewards checking at Auburn University Credit Union gives you the tools to manage your credit, monitor for fraud, telehealth services, loan discounts, and more. Visit myaucu.org for more details. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Today will be not quite as scalding, as we'll see high temperatures in the low 90s as opposed to the mid to upper 90s that we've seen so many times in the last week. With it, we'll see an increased coverage area of shower and thunderstorm activity, between 40 to 50% of the area seeing some rain. On Saturday, we return near the mid 90s again, and the coverage area of showers and thunderstorms goes back down a bit, around 20% of the area seeing some rain. Low temperatures both nights into the low 70s. I'm Ryan
Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
Weekdays from noon until 3 p.m. Join Tilly the Elder Emo for Flashback Lunch and all your favorite alternative rock in the afternoon. Only on Tiger 95.9 and on the Tiger Communications app.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
My caretaker was very rough with me. I thought they did it because I wasn't moving fast enough.
Elder abuse is a crime, and together we can stop it. If you or someone you know has been abused, neglected, or exploited, call the Adult Abuse Hotline at 1-800-458-7214. That's 1-800-458-7214. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Department of Justice, ADECA Grant Number 18 VA VS 050, the ABA, and this station.
Looking for great deals while supporting a great cause? Visit Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, conveniently located on East University behind Zaxby's. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 5 with a huge selection of furniture, clothing for the whole family, books, home decor, and so much more. Have items to donate? We'll gladly accept donations at the back of the store from 10 until 4. Shop, donate, and make a difference at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, where every purchase helps change lives.
It's heating up at Suns Ford in Auburn with the hottest sale of the year. Now's the time to save big on a huge selection of new Ford trucks, SUVs, and cars. Whether you're looking for a rugged F-150, a family-friendly Explorer, or a fuel-efficient Escape, you'll find incredible deals waiting for you. Don't let these summer savings pass you by. Visit Suns Ford in Auburn today or shop online at sunsford.com and pick the Ford you've been wanting at a price you'll love. Suns Ford in Auburn, where the hottest deals of the year are happening now.
From the very beginning in 1907, Auburn Bank's mission has been to promote our community, see businesses flourish, and improve the livelihoods of local citizens. We have operated a simple and straightforward business model built on a foundation of sound business decisions and a caring response. Our local team stands ready to discuss your financial needs and goals. Auburn Bank, champions of you. Member FDIC. Online at auburnbank.com.
I'm Deshaun Davis, former Auburn Tigers football player and all SEC linebacker. You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Welcome back. This is the Friday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie and Connor Knight with you here today. Of course, we just talked Georgia football. If you want to go check out and the poll that we have on Sports Call AU on Twitter, or at Sports Call AU on Twitter, you can vote in that poll and make your voice heard on what you think Georgia will do this season. All right, let's head back to the Sports Call phone line, 334-887-3401 locally, or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Next up,
Anthony from Auburn.
Anthony joins us. Anthony, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, and you guys?
Doing all right.
I want to start out talking about high school football, then I want to move on to college. But I tell you, the way Thompson looked last night, they looked like they was already in championship form. You hardly ever see two teams of this caliber play this early in the season, and one team already looking like it's ready for a championship run. Another team looked like it didn't know what was coming out of a bag or what, but they went ahead and carved them up and threw them on the table like a slab of ribs.
Yeah, I did not watch the game. I saw the final score, but yeah, when you beat someone by 4 touchdowns, I know Seaborn looked really good. You see that one team is on a different trajectory than the other at this point.
Trent Seaborn was in top form. He had a few passes he threw for touchdowns, and then they had that bell cow of a running back. I think Pergez on that goal line there got on in the end zone a time or two. I mean, it's really one. I mean, you talking about going down to Phoenix City and Garrett Stadium and doing what they did. I mean, don't too many teams do that. At least I hadn't seen many teams do that.
Sure. Yeah. No. I mean, Central's usually doing that to everyone else.
You know, because Central, that's been a hotbed for years. Coach Bryan got a lot of talent out of there, and a lot of those guys became NFL college legends, NFL stars. Pat Dye even went over there and got a player or two, and those guys went on and played NFL and everything. And let's see, I think Auburn track team went and got Harvey Glance back in the mid '70s, and he won Olympic gold and coached at Auburn and coached at Alabama and was a hero. And you know, so you know, hey, that just goes to show you an area like that with that kind of talent that it continues to produce. I think one or two have come over here and went to the University of Alabama with Nick Saban, if I'm not mistaken, and got championship gold. And one went on down to LSU and got it, and the Clemson too. So that just goes to show you what football is today. But Thompson, I say go ahead and give them the championship now. I say what? Go ahead and just give them their ticket to the 6A state game, and then we'll just see what everybody else does who beat opponents.
Hard to argue that after what they did last night. So, but yeah, someone will have to join them at the least.
You know, here's the crazy thing. When I got through watching the game, I'm flipping around channels and whatnot, and came across a conversation, and I didn't know you could do this. These guys were saying that, well, you know, NFL roster is going to get down to 53 here the next probably 5, 6, 7 days or 10 days or whatever the deadline is. And they were saying that it was 5 players that had formerly played at Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin were looking to make a return to college football. The judge had ruled to put an injunction or something in place to overrule something or whatnot with his eligibility thing. And those guys, even though they've signed NFL contracts, played in some preseason games and got some preseason money, and it was more beneficial to come on back and maybe get $1 million or $700,000 with the college program versus the $200,000 they get on the practice squad. Now, I thought it was a done deal once you signed with an agent or whatnot, and it went on into the NFL.
It was supposed to be, but now they are basically suing to make that not be true because of the, you know, with the colleges, with college structure moving to, 5 years to play 5, those athletes are now trying to say they should have also gotten a 5th year, despite the fact they've signed an NFL contract or participated in preseason, as you alluded to. So that's where the lawsuits are coming into play. And, there was a blanket ruling a week or two ago that was going to let all 5th years come back and do that. That one was struck down today, and they came back and said that it's not a blanket ruling. So now it's only certain local municipalities that have let some athletes come back. It's getting very, very convoluted, very, very tough to tell what's going to happen.
I mean, the whole thing is crazy. But, I mean, now, don't get me wrong. Now, had they not went ahead and entered the draft or whatnot and received those paychecks, then I would say maybe they had an argument,
sure,
maybe, or whatnot. But
not when you've been sacking people for
Scoring
the
touchdowns.
Insert NFL team here in the preseason. Because I give you examples. So Jack Pyburn's one of the guys. He went to LSU last year. He had 2 sacks for the Buccaneers in Week 1 against the Jets. But he's one of those guys he could make the team, might just be on practice squad. He was a part of the lawsuit to try to get back into college. So when you
okay, but he's not going to be able to come back then, right?
Well, according to these local judges, he would. Not the national ruling, but the local one.
Oh, the local ruling. Wow.
Depends on what state you file in. Because some of these local municipalities ruled on certain cases based off of the original ruling in Colorado. Then Colorado came back today and said, no, actually NCAA motion approved. There's not a blanket waiver for everybody. So there's these local rulings that are still standing. It's beyond my legal expertise of why the local rulings are overruling that more federal ruling, the overarching ruling. But anyway, so there are certain exceptions that have already gotten a local ruling that are okay, even if they are in the NFL or on an NFL roster technically right now.
Okay, so for those few individuals that will get an opportunity, so they can come back, get the NIL money, which would be more than they was going to get this year on the practice squad, have opportunity to up their stock, so to speak, could have a good year and get in a position to go back into the draft next year, right?
Yes. Well, no, not in the draft. The NFL, apparently, from what I'm reading, the NFL teams will own their rights. So whichever team already had drafted them, signed them, that sort of thing, already owns their right.
Okay, so they can have a good year this year and then put themselves in position to go back next year and then have opportunity, probably a better opportunity to make a team or get traded somewhere else, right?
According to those local rulings, yes.
But if that don't work out, it could still make enough money this time to invest it and then have money from now on, right? If you can get your hands on $1 million or $800,000.
If they're smarter, if they invest it, yes, they could do that. Yes.
Oh man, I tell you, that's something, ain't it?
I don't pretend to know what's going to happen next with these situations. Now there's new ones I didn't even think of. So again, and I don't know where this will all go. Again, it only affects, I guess, a few dozen players right now, as opposed to the hundreds that it would have affected if the blanket ruling had still been the case. But again, those guys could still sue too. But I mean, the season's about to start, so we could be talking about teams adding someone in the middle of the season.
So wow, that could be something that could boost a whole lot of teams because, like they say, they got to win now, right?
That's what it's been all about. Win and make that money.
So if you get a player, let's say if you get a player or two, maybe three, or maybe you might get 4 players like that, then you got to make room for them, which means somebody on the team now going to have to forfeit a scholarship in, right?
Assuming you don't have room. I think the assumption is that some of these schools have left some scholarships open. But I mean, I would hope, but again, I would probably hope in vain that they would not take someone off a scholarship for something like this. But again, I would probably be hoping in vain.
Because they were saying that there was possibility of maybe 4 or 5 players that could possibly end up at LSU.
Right.
That was at Ole Miss last year.
And that comes into another question, which is the SEC is supposed to still have a rule that was designed really for the second portal window, the spring portal window that we've now don't have.
Right.
But it said that this late in the process, past a certain date, you can't transfer SEC to SEC school. Something similar to what we saw a long time ago. They'd allowed it for the first portal window, but for the second window, a new one, they said, no, you can't. So then that begs the question, does the conference try to enforce that if they do try to transfer to another SEC school?
So we'll see how that works too then.
Yes, we will. And again, I have no idea. I just want to watch football, Anthony. I don't want to be talking about these things.
The commentators were drawing up these 2 players could go here back to their old team, and they could help here at outside linebacker, and this guy can help over here, and these 2 guys that go back to this team they was on last year, and they can do this and they can do that, and they'll be better with what they got coming back and add this to it.
Yes.
And they just dreaming up all kind of stuff.
Yeah, on the fly. Do it on the fly. Yep.
Well, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. That's Anthony from Auburn joining us on the Sports Call phone line. Yep. Again, we're all learning at the same time on all this because these are all new things. Let's grab one more phone call here, 334-887-3401 locally or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9.
Tony from Tuskegee.
Tony joins us. Tony, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Doing very
well. I got a couple of things to say. If Alabama got a quarterback as the pitcher's painted, he's that good, and the offensive line, Alabama win it all.
All right. If Keelan Russell's as good as advertising, if they got the offensive line, I got you.
If they got an offensive line, because they got the running backs, and if they got an offensive line, and the quarterback can throw the ball, not if he betting Dak Prescott, Alabama win it all. You got to be able to read the defense. Instead of throwing it to the defensive back, and throwing it to the receiver. Because the ball that coming out of Benjamin Russell, he's the truth. He's Julio Jones type. And that boy coming from Jackson, Crowell, I watched him in high school. They probably wasn't playing anybody, but he had 300 yards before the half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was his ninth grade year.
Sure.
Yeah.
Highly touted guys.
But anyway, man, I appreciate. I know y'all got to get off the air, and y'all getting ready for high school football tonight.
Yes, sir. 6:30 start time for both those broadcasts.
Yeah, who's playing?
Beauregard's got Reeltown, and then over on FM Talk 93.9, we got Lochapoka and Lynette.
Who's Auburn playing tonight?
Auburn's got Hewitt Trussville, I believe.
Pretty big game.
Yeah, I got my little nephew, B.J. Collins. I'm hoping he have a great year.
Yes,
Play
sir.
wide receiver at Auburn High.
Yes, sir. I believe you told us about him a little bit earlier this week. We'll be rooting for him.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all have a good one and appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Tony. That is Tony from Tuskegee joining us on the Sports Call phone line. Got just a few minutes left here in the show now. But, yeah, I mean, again, it looks like Russell will win that Alabama job. At least I believe he will. And, again, I'm there are some ifs there because, again, I don't know. Alabama's offensive line did need some work from last year. They did not run the ball well at all last year, as we talked about. So they've, I think they'll be a factor, but also to have those couple of guys work out the way, Tony's referring to, we've not seen that with the DeBoer Alabama version yet.
Yeah, we haven't at all. And like you said, the offensive line has been really the big thing missing from these Alabama teams so far early. It's just the thing that you thought was, obvious if every Nick Saban team was, every time was going to be good in the trenches. And again, you just don't know how good Keelan Russell is actually going to be. Super highly touted recruit coming out of high school, but it could always not translate. They're busts and everything, but they expect big things from Keelan Russell.
All right, let's squeeze in one more phone call here on the Sports Call phone line. Last up today,
Michael from Auburn.
Michael joins us. Michael, how are you doing?
Doing good, guys. I'll be quick. I saw Alabama and Tennessee had agreed to both wear their home uniforms in the next 2 years, I think, in that rival. Would you be interested, because I know Auburn and LSU always wears white. Would you want to see Auburn play anyone else in a rivalry game and wear both teams wear home? And I'll hang up and listen.
All right, appreciate it, Michael. That Michael from Auburn there. Anthony asked something along these lines earlier this week. Connor, you're the bigger uniform guy than me.
I would love to see the Iron Bowl and the Deep South Oldest rivalry. I think those two would be kind of the ones that are just ready-made because Alabama's crimson, Auburn's blue, navy, so that works. And then Georgia, they've got the either the black or the red that you could go with. That I think would be really good. One that I think would be kind of weird that I think would work really well would be Ole Miss color versus like their red jerseys versus Auburn and their navy jersey. I think would work really well, but those would be mine.
I'll give you one that would not work at all. And it does. I mean, the obvious would be Florida's blue, but not even Florida's orange when they wore that a few times. I think that'd be pretty disgusting. I don't think that would go well at all. I have said, again, I have a very middling opinion of the uniforms because I understand both sides. There is some that this is traditional, this is what Auburn is, this is who they are, it's what they look like, period. And I also understand, hey, what's the harm if you look like Auburn still? You've still got all of Auburn's colors, but you mix it up, you do some different things. I get that side of the equation. I'm not the person to be passionate for or against that. I've had like 3 negative uniform opinions ever. I feel like and they have nothing to do with Auburn or Alabama or anything like that. So, again, I think that it's an interesting idea. I love it. Yeah. I think that at least with that, you're not changing what Auburn is currently wearing. You're just changing the venue in which it wears it. So I don't have a huge problem with it. I don't see why that would agitate many. personally, if you're going to have Auburn
long
wearing
as you
blue
can-
when they
yeah.
should be wearing white, or if Georgia's wearing red when they should be wearing white, whatever. Like, I don't see a big harm in that personally. People are going to be like, the next step is like, okay, but do you ever have an Auburn orange jersey? Do you ever do something different with the Navy? Do you do all Navy, all these type of things, iterations of it? That's where, again, I'm going to kind of bow out and say, you guys have at it. But I don't see any harm in something like that personally.
Yeah, I don't either, as long as the colors aren't too meshing up against, and you can tell who's playing who. That's all that matters.
Sure.
Is you can tell it's Alabama, Tennessee, it's Auburn, Alabama. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing when it always comes to the uniform. All right, so we're about out of time here. Again, coming up at 6:30 today, we're going to have Beauregard High School football. We're excited to hear Tim Sin and the guys back at it. Hard to believe. I still remember wrapping up the softball season a few months ago, and we're back at it in high school sports as Beauregard High School going to be taking on Reeltown. Also, again, 6:30 FM Talk is the pregame time. Brooke Childress and Jack Myrick will be out there for Locha Polka and Lynette, so I want you to tune into that. And directly following them, the Alabama High School Athletic Association Scoreboard Show, as they will be up and running right around 10 o'clock tonight, so you can check out the scores from across the state, including those games that already happened last night. But that's going to do it for us here today. Connor Knight, thank you for being here today, sir. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure as always.
That does it for us here on this Friday. As always, we appreciate all those that tuned in and called in. For Connor Knight, my name is Ryan Lavoie. Enjoy the last weekend without college football,
Yes.
and we'll talk to you again on Monday.